Imagine for a moment that the year is 1635. Outside the walls of your sanctuary, the Mughal Empire is a roaring, vibrant, and relentless beast. In the heart of Delhi, the Red Fort is pulsing with life. There is the rhythmic thundering of war elephants, the sharp, authoritative clatter of imperial guards on patrol, the distant, frantic bargaining of merchants, and the sheer, overwhelming humidity of the Indian sun reflecting off the vast sandstone battlements. It is a world of noise, of power, of ambition, and of endless motion. But then you step through a narrow, heavy archway, and the world, the entire deafening, chaotic world, simply vanishes. You have entered a space designed for silence. The walls here are immense, thick layers of red sandstone that drink up the heat and the sound of the world outside, insulating this small rectangular room in a cocoon of cool, absolute stillness. The air inside is different. It is heavy, but pleasantly so, carrying the sophisticated layered perfume of the royal workshops, the grounding, earthy scent of sandalwood paste, the ethereal, cooling fragrance of rosewater, and the subtle, sharp tang of natural gum arabic used as a binder for pigments. This is a space where time does not flow linearly. It slows down, thickening like honey, until every second feels like an hour of quiet reflection. You are not alone, though the company here is as still as the architecture. In the center of the room, seated upon a low pile, intricately woven Persian rug, sits the master painter. He is a man who has forgotten the existence of the empire beyond these walls. His world has shrunk down, narrowed by intent and years of singular focus, until it encompasses only the few square inches of his workspace. He is hunched over a sheet of paper, not ordinary paper, but a surface so finely burnished, so impossibly smooth that it has the texture of polished ivory. Look closer. Do you see the light? It is not the harsh, direct sun of the Delhi midday. It filters through the jelly screens, those marvelous, intricate marble lattices carved with geometric precision. The sunlight is broken, filtered, and softened, transformed into ribbons of cool white radiance that dance gently across the floor. This light allows for no glare, no distraction. It illuminates the very tip of the brush held in the painter's hand. This brush is a marvel of its own. It is not made of coarse bristles, but of a single fine hair, delicate, flexible, and capable of depositing a speck of color smaller than a grain of sand. The painter is currently working with malachite, a vibrant, lush, earthborn green that has been ground down over days, refined through water and patience, until it is a fine, glowing dust. Beside it sits a small, deep bowl of crushed lapis lazuli, a blue so intense it feels as though a piece of the night sky has been brought into the studio. He does not rush. In a world of empires and conquests, he is a master of the microscopic. He touches the brush to the paper, and there is a sound, the faintest, most comforting, rhythmic scratch. It is a whisper of connection between the tool and the medium. To the ear, this sound is a sedative. To the mind, it is a focal point. Every dot of green, every stroke of blue is an act of total surrender to the present moment. The vast, thundering empire outside has been reduced to this, a single landscape, a tiny, perfectly controlled world of peaceful beauty, born of silence and kept safe behind stone. You have left the modern world behind the moment you crossed that threshold. There is no urgency here, there are no deadlines, no demands, and no chaos. You are here to witness a creation that defies time. You are here to learn how to find that same quiet center within yourself, where the noise of your own life fades, replaced by the steady, hypnotic focus of an artist who knows that in the smallest details, we often find the greatest peace. We are going to spend our time here, in the cool, fragrant silence of the Red Fort, watching as a world is built, one breath, one stroke, one moment at a time. The master is waiting, the pigments are prepared, and the silence is absolute. It is time to let go of everything else. As the dust motes dance in the fractured sunlight, Let us move our attention closer to the workstation. The table, or rather the low polished wooden board resting on the lap of the master, is an extension of the studio itself. It is dark, heavy rosewood, smoothed by generations of wear, polished to a dark, deep sheen that reflects the soft light from the jelly screens. On this surface, the tools of the trade are arranged with a precision that borders on the ritualistic. To the left, a collection of small stone mortars and pestles wait remnants of the morning's labor. The air still holds the ghost of the grinding process, the faint mineral smell of earth being broken down. The painter's posture is a testament to years of discipline. He does not sit hunched in a way that suggests strain. Rather, he is balanced, his spine straight, his shoulders relaxed, his breathing deep and unhurried. He has learned that the heartbeat can be felt in the hand. If his heart races, the hand trembles. If his mind wanders to the politics of the court or the state of the treasury, the pigment will waver. Therefore, he breathes with the deliberate, slow rhythm of a tide. In, out, in, out. The movement of his hand is synchronized with this cycle, a dance performed in the smallest possible space. Notice the pigments themselves in the year 1635. These are not mere paints, they are the literal substance of the earth and the heavens. The malachite green before him was mined far from the walls of Delhi, transported across treacherous mountain passes, bought, traded, and finally brought to this room to be ground into a fine glowing powder. The lapis lazuli, that precious deep blue, is more valuable than gold in some circles, brought from the cold, rugged mountains of Badakhshan. To hold these colors is to hold the geography of the world in your palm. Yet in this studio, they lose their status as commodities. They become something else entirely, light and shadow, tree and sky. The painter dips the brush, the single delicate hair, into a shallow polished shell containing a mixture of water and gum arabic. He then touches it to the lapis powder, with a touch so light it could be the landing of a butterfly. He moves the brush to the paper. He begins to form the sky. It is not a wash, not a broad stroke of color, but a series of thousands of microscopic dots, a technique that requires an ironclad patience. As you watch, the white of the paper begins to retreat, replaced by a deep celestial blue. This process is a form of active meditation. The artist is not simply painting a scene, he is reconstructing the world in a way that he can control. In the court outside, a king can command 1,000 soldiers, but he cannot command the direction of the wind or the speed at which a leaf falls. Go out here. However, the painter is the absolute monarch of his own creation. He decides where the clouds float. He decides how the light hits the side of a mountain. He decides the precise moment the sun sets on his paper world. This is the ultimate luxury, a space where everything is exactly as it should be, and nothing is left to chance. The sensory immersion here is absolute. The smell of the sandalwood is not just a scent, it is a weight, a grounding force that keeps the mind from drifting into the future or the past. It anchors you to the chair, to the floor, to the present moment. You can feel the coolness of the stone walls radiating against your skin, providing a soothing contrast to the outside world. This is an environment of profound protection. The noise of the city, the shouts of the guards, the clatter of the bazaar, it all hits the outer walls of the red fort and dies there. It does not penetrate this inner sanctum. As the painter works, he creates a rhythm that is hypnotic. If you were to close your eyes, you would hear only the faint, dry scratch of the brush. It is a sound like a silk thread being drawn over velvet, a sound so quiet that you have to be perfectly still to hear it. This sound acts as a rhythmic mantra, lulling the mind into a state of deep, restful alertness. It is a state where you are awake, yet your body is fully relaxed. You are present, yet your mind is free from the clutter of thoughts. You are drifting, but you are anchored by the beauty of the craft. The master stops for a moment, lifting his brush. He does not put it down. He holds it steady, suspended in the air. He is looking at his work, not with the critical eye of a judge, but with the quiet appreciation of a partner. He is checking the balance, ensuring that the density of the blue dots matches the surrounding areas. The silence intensifies during this pause. It is as if the room itself is holding its breath. Then, ever so slowly, he lowers the brush back to the paper. The rhythm resumes. This is the life of the studio. It is a life of repetition, of refinement, of finding meaning in the minuscule. And as you sit here with him, you find yourself breathing in time with his strokes, your own heart rate slowing to match the deliberate pace of his hand. You are becoming a part of the studio, a part of the history that is being written one dot at a time. The world outside is still spinning, still loud, still demanding, but it no longer has any claim on you. You are in the Red Fort in the year 1635, and there is nothing you need to do but watch, breathe, and be. In the quiet unfolding of this afternoon, the light within the chamber has shifted ever so slightly. The sun traversing its path across the daily sky has moved behind a different section of the carved marble jali. Now, the ribbons of light are thinner, more concentrated, casting longer, softer shadows across the floorboards. The atmosphere has grown even more intimate, as if the room itself is drawing its walls in closer to guard the delicate work taking place. The master painter remains a fixture of absolute stillness. To an observer, he might appear as a statue, a living part of the architecture. So seamlessly does he blend with the environment of the Red Fort. Yet, beneath this stillness, there is a complex, silent activity that demands everything he has to give. He is moving on to the landscape's foliage, utilizing the malachite green he prepared earlier. He works with a precision that defies the limitations of human sight, building up layers of color on a tiny gnarled tree that is meant to occupy the foreground of his miniature world. He creates the leaves not with strokes, but with tiny overlapping clusters of dots, each one varying in intensity to mimic the way sunlight dapples through a canopy of trees. It is a process of creation that demands not just skill, but a profound surrender. He must forget the concept of the forest and focus entirely on the microscopic reality of the single leaf. As he works, the fragrance of the room changes. The rose water kept in a small wide-mouthed silver bowl nearby has evaporated slightly in the warmth of the day, releasing a more concentrated honeyed scent. It mingles with the sandalwood, creating an olfactory atmosphere that is both refreshing and deeply calming. It is a scent that speaks of luxury, yet it is used here for a purpose that is intensely humble, aiding the focus required to create a world of beauty. This sensory environment acts as a barrier against the encroaching chaos of the empire. The Red Fort is a fortress of stone, but this room is a fortress of the mind. Think of the contrast. Beyond these walls, the emperor is managing vast territories, navigating the complex politics of alliances, wars, and trade. He is preoccupied with the grand, the sweeping, the loud. But in this room, the painter is dealing with the absolute, the intimate, and the silent. He is proving that there is as much truth, as much depth, and as much majesty in a single perfectly rendered tree as there is in an entire province. By reducing the scale of the world to this small piece of paper, he is achieving a kind of psychological mastery. He is not overwhelmed by the vastness of the universe. He is domesticating it, bringing it down to a size that he can cherish, study, and protect. You are here with him, experiencing this shift in perspective. As you watch the brush dance, your own perception begins to mirror his. You stop thinking about the wider world, the responsibilities that usually tug at your attention, the noise of your modern life, the digital constant of information. They are distant, muted, and ultimately irrelevant. What matters is the way the light catches the brush hair. What matters is the specific shade of green that is currently drying on the paper. What matters is the scent of the room and the steadiness of your own breathing. You are learning the art of the narrow focus. This state of flow is profound. It is where the artist disappears into the art. When he touches the brush to the paper, there is no longer a painter, only the painting. There is no longer a brush, only the motion. This is the goal of his discipline. He has spent years, perhaps decades, reaching this point of total integration. And because you are sharing this space, because you are allowing yourself to be lulled by the rhythm of his work, you are beginning to share in this state too. The restlessness that usually accompanies your idle moments is replaced by a deep, hollowed out peace. It is not empty, but rather a space waiting to be filled with the quiet satisfaction of simply existing. Consider the dedication required for this. He has sacrificed the speed of modern life for the depth of the classical craft. He does not need 1,000 images to tell a story. He needs one perfect image. He does not need the noise of 100 voices to feel fulfilled. He needs the silence of one room. This is a radical choice, even in 1635, in the midst of a culture that celebrates power and display. He is choosing the power of the internal over the power of the external. As the sun continues its slow journey, the temperature in the room drops ever so slightly. The air feels cool against your skin, a gentle reminder of the protection afforded by these massive stone walls. The silence is now so thick it feels almost solid, a soft protective blanket draped over your shoulders. You feel a sense of safety that is rare in any century. No harm can come to you here. No demand can reach you. The empire can rise and fall. The dynasties can change. But in this specific corner of the Red Fort, in this specific afternoon, there is only the brush, the paper, and the piece of the work. You are safe, you are grounded, and you are entirely at ease. The world is small. It is beautiful, and it is entirely yours to witness. The golden hour of the afternoon begins to stretch across the room, casting long, dramatic fingers of light through the jolly screens. These beams of illumination are not bright enough to hurt the eyes. Instead, they are softened by the red sandstone, turning the air into a golden, shimmering haze. Within this suspended reality, the painter pauses once more. He lifts his head, not to look out at the world, but to rest his gaze upon the horizon of his own creation. His eyes, though slightly tired from the intense scrutiny of the miniature, remain bright and clear. He has been at this for hours, yet there is no sign of the frantic, hurried energy that characterizes the life outside. He stands up, his movements fluid and intentional, like those of a man who practices the art of living as carefully as the art of painting. He moves toward a small alcove where a brass basin rests on a pedestal. He washes his hands in cool water, the sound of the splashing liquid punctuating the profound silence of the room. He dries his hands on a clean, soft cloth, and then he turns back to the room, his eyes scanning the space as if reacquainting himself with the physical reality of his sanctuary. He is checking the perimeter, ensuring that the sanctity of the room remains unbreached. This moment of transition is vital. It is a reminder that even in the pursuit of perfection, one must honor the needs of the body and the environment. He walks over to the window, peering through the intricate stone lattice. From this angle, he can see the bustling life of the fort, the courtiers in their silken robes, the horses being led to the stables, the guards standing with stiff, unwavering posture. But he does not see them with the eyes of a participant. He sees them as one might observe an ant colony, or the shifting patterns of the tides. They are in a different dimension, a different frequency of existence. He is a ghost in their machine, a man who has opted out of the noise to live in a world of his own making. He returns to his seat, but before he resumes his work, he takes a moment to address you, the observer. Though he does not speak, his presence invites you to deepen your own connection to this space. He sets his tools down with a grace that is almost musical. He knows that the work you are witnessing, this process of bringing order out of chaos, of creating beauty from the earth, is something that the world outside desperately needs, even if they do not know it. This is why we curate these moments of history, to remind ourselves that beneath the roar of the present, there is a quiet, eternal foundation of human creativity and peace. If you find yourself needing to return to this sanctuary, to this stillness, to this specific moment in the red fort, where the only thing that matters is the next stroke of the brush, know that this journey is always here for you. We invite you to subscribe to our channel and join our community of seekers, those who understand that history is not just about battles and kings, but about the quiet, meditative spaces where humanity finds its true reflection. By following our journey, you ensure that you can always find your way back to this stillness, back to the scent of sandalwood and the soft light of the jelly, whenever the world outside becomes too loud or too demanding. Click that subscribe button and let us continue this exploration together. One breath, one story, one moment of peace at a time. The painter resumes his position, he picks up the brush once more, and as he does, the room seems to hum with a renewed sense of purpose. He is now beginning to add the final intricate details to the landscape, the glints of gold leaf on the mountain peaks, the tiny subtle highlights that will give the scene its depth and life. You can feel the intensity of his focus increasing, a palpable energy that draws you deeper into the work. He is no longer just painting a picture, he is breathing life into it. The landscape on the paper feels as if it could open up at any moment, inviting you to step inside and walk along those paths he has so carefully laid out. The scent of the rosewater is now intermingled with a new faint trace of incense, a thin rising plume of smoke from a small copper burner in the corner. It is a calming woody scent that settles in the lungs, making every breath feel deeper and more nourishing. You find yourself sinking further into your seat, your limbs heavy, your mind clear and still. The tension of the day has long since evaporated, replaced by a sense of profound quiet contentment. This is the power of the miniature. It teaches us that we do not need the vast, uncontrollable world to feel complete. We only need our own focus, our own dedication, and a small space of beauty to call our own. The light outside is deepening into a rich burnt orange. The day is ending. But in this studio, the work is eternal. Every mark is permanent. Every color is vibrant, and the peace of the room is unbreakable. You are witnessing the pinnacle of Mughal craftsmanship, a tradition that valued the infinite in the infinitesimal. As the painter continues to work, his movements become even more precise, more rhythmic, and more beautiful to behold. You are no longer just a spectator, you are a participant in a meditative tradition that has survived for centuries and which now, through this journey, you are helping to keep alive. The silence is your companion, the art is your guide, and the red fort is your sanctuary. The shadows within the studio have lengthened, stretching like velvet ribbons across the cool sandstone floor. The sunset, though unseen directly, announces its arrival through the shifting spectrum of light filtering through the jelly screens. The white brilliance of the afternoon has surrendered to a warm, dusky amber, a color that seems to imbue the very air with a sense of completion. The master painter works on, his hand still as a mountain, his focus undiminished. He is currently focused on the reflection of the landscape in a small, stylized pool of water he has rendered in the lower corner of his painting. To create the illusion of water, he uses a delicate wash of white mixed with a trace of shell powder, applying it with such gossamer lightness that it seems to shimmer and vibrate against the darker, deeper tones of the surroundings. This is the alchemy of the miniature artist, the ability to convince the eye that water is wet, that trees have depth, and that light has a physical presence on a two-dimensional surface. He is a master of illusion, a creator of worlds that exist only in the mind and upon the paper. As you watch him, You begin to understand that this level of detail is not merely decorative, it is a discipline. To focus on the minute reflection of a non-existent moon in a painted pool is to detach entirely from the grand, crushing weight of imperial politics and social expectation. It is an act of defiance, really a quiet, stubborn insistence that beauty matters more than power, and that the internal world is the only one that truly belongs to us. The silence is absolute now, a heavy, comforting presence that seems to press gently against your skin. The only sound in the room is the faint, rhythmic scratching of the squirrel hair brush, a sound that has become the heartbeat of your experience here. You find your own breathing has synchronized with the painter's. When he pauses, you pause. When he breathes, you breathe. There is a profound sense of connection, an unspoken agreement between you and the artist. You are his witness, his silent partner in this act of creation. The artificiality of the outside world, with its noise and its constant demands, has no purchase here. You are anchored in the present, held by the stone walls of the red fort and the steady, unwavering grace of the man before you. You might notice how your posture has changed. You are no longer sitting as if waiting for something to happen or as if bracing yourself for a task. You are simply resting. Your hands lie open in your lap, your shoulders are dropped, and your mind is clear of the usual clutter. The scent of sandalwood and rosewater has become so familiar that it feels like a part of your own breath. This is the goal of the environment, a perfect curated space where the senses are calmed, the mind is anchored, and the soul is allowed to rest. The Red Fort, once a symbol of immense, intimidating power, has revealed its secret, that within its vast, roaring heart, there is a hidden, quiet room where the spirit can find a perfect, balanced peace. Consider the persistence of this man. He has been at his station for hours, yet there is no sign of fatigue in his hand or his posture. He has cultivated a stamina that is entirely mental. He does not tire because he is not fighting the moment. He is moving within it. He does not struggle against the paper. He collaborates with it. He does not strive to be great. He simply strives to be accurate. This is the profound wisdom of the artisan. By focusing on the small, the manageable, and the true, one can eventually create something that is monumental. His work, this tiny portrait of a landscape, will endure long after the empires of the world have crumbled into dust. It is a testament to the power of the singular, focused human will. As you sit in this golden, quiet light, try to hold on to this feeling, the feeling of being completely present, completely still, and completely at peace. The world outside will always be there, waiting with its noise and its rush. But you now know that this room exists, at least in the halls of your own imagination. You have the ability to return here whenever you need to quiet your mind and settle your heart. The master painter continues to refine the edges of the pool, his brush moving with a grace that is almost otherworldly. He is finishing the piece, putting those final delicate touches that pull the whole image into a coherent, breathing reality. You are witnessing the culmination of a day's labor, a moment of transition where the raw materials become a finished piece of art, and you are here in the heart of the Red Fort to see it happen. Everything is as it should be. The light is perfect, the silence is profound, and the world is, for this moment, exactly as you would have it. The final light of the day is waning, painting the interior of the studio in hues of deep violet and charcoal. The golden embers of the sunset have retreated from the jelly screens, leaving behind a soft ambient glow that seems to emanate from the very stone itself. The master painter has reached the final stage of his labor. He puts down the fine brush and picks up a burnishing stone, a smooth, cool piece of agate that he glides gently over the finished work. This act, the polishing of the surface, is not just to smooth the paper, but to melt the mineral pigments into the fibers of the cellulose. It is the final sealing of the image, the moment when the art becomes permanent. The sound of the agate against the paper is distinct, a rhythmic resonant clicking that echoes slightly in the vaulted space of the room. It is a satisfying final sound, signifying that the day's work is complete. He holds the piece up to the fading light. He does not smile, for his pride is not of the ego, but of the spirit. He looks at the landscape he has created, the tiny world of malachite green and lapis blue, and he sees the reflection of his own inner stillness. The trees he painted are strong, the water he rendered is serene, and the sky he captured is vast. He has succeeded in imposing order and beauty upon a void. He sets the painting down with great care on a wooden rack, allowing it to breathe in the cool air of the evening. He then turns his attention to his tools, cleaning the brushes with the same reverence he showed when using them. He washes the stone mortars, dries the shell palettes, and organizes the small containers of pigments. This ritual of closing is as important as the act of beginning. It restores the room to its original state, a blank canvas of potential for the next day. You have spent this time in a space that defies the passage of the common hours. You have seen how a master painter, in the heart of a bustling, powerful empire, chose to spend his days in silence, focus, and the pursuit of beauty. You have learned that peace is not an accident. It is a construction. It is built out of the materials of our attention, our environment, and our willingness to let go of the noise that does not serve us. The Red Fort, once a place of daunting historical weight, has become a place of personal refuge. You leave this session not just having observed an artist, but having been changed by his process. You have learned that no matter the scale of the world around you, you can always retreat to the sanctuary of your own mind, your own focus, and your own dedication to the present moment. As the darkness settles in, the studio becomes a sanctuary of shadows. The scents of sandalwood and rosewater linger in the air, a reminder of the quiet beauty that was just created. You feel a sense of profound calm settling over you, a quietude that reaches deep into your bones. The hectic pace of the outside world feels distant, like a dream you have long since woken up from. You are grounded, you are centered, and you are prepared to carry this sense of peace with you as you move back into the flow of your own life. This is the gift of the studio, a reminder that beauty and stillness are always available to us if we are only willing to look for them and to give them the space they deserve. Sleepy History with Theodore is a sleep history storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. We believe in the power of the past to heal the present, and we hope this journey through the Mughal court has provided you with the solace and perspective you were looking for. As you prepare to close your eyes, carry the image of the studio with you. Imagine the soft filtered light, the scent of the sandalwood, the rhythmic scratching of the brush, and the absolute unwavering peace of the master painter. Let these images be your guide into a restful sleep, a state where the chaos of the world is forgotten and only the beauty of the mind remains. Rest well, knowing that you have a sanctuary within yourself, one that is always there, waiting to be returned to. The night is quiet, the air is still, and you are ready for a deep, restorative rest. The night has fully descended upon the Red Fort, wrapping the ancient sandstone walls in a velvet shroud of shadow and silence. Inside the studio, the atmosphere has undergone a transformation. The sharp, focused energy of the day, which was directed outward toward the paper and the pigments, has now turned inward, settling into the very stones of the architecture. You are still here, lingering in the aftermath of the creation, finding that the quiet of the night is even more profound than the stillness of the afternoon. The room is no longer a workshop, it has become a sanctuary of rest. The faint, lingering scent of sandalwood has deepened, becoming an earthy, grounding perfume that seems to rise from the floorboards themselves, while the rosewater, that fleeting, delicate top note, has faded, leaving behind the comforting bass note resonance of the room's history. You watch as the last vestiges of the day's light are swallowed by the darkness. The jolly screens which once allowed the vibrant filtered sun to dance across the room are now silhouettes of black lace against the deep navy of the evening sky. Outside, the great city of Delhi continues its life, but the sounds are muffled and distant, transformed by the thickness of the walls into a low, rhythmic strumming that acts more like a heartbeat than an intrusion. You feel the weight of your own body against the surface you are resting upon, and you notice how, for the first time in a long while, there is no tension in your muscles. The anxiety of the day, the list of things to do, the pressure of expectations, all of it has been stripped away by the sheer, unyielding peace of this environment. Consider the nature of this isolation. In the year 1635, to be in the Red Fort is to be at the center of the world. It is the seat of the emperor, the heart of the administration, the point from which the fate of millions is decided. And yet, here in this small hidden room, none of that matters. The painter has demonstrated that the most powerful thing one can do is to withdraw from the noise and to cultivate a world of one's own. He has shown you that you do not need the approval of the crowd or the recognition of the powerful. You only need the integrity of your own craft and the sanctity of your own focus. As you lie here in the growing dark, you begin to realize that this lesson is the true purpose of the studio. It is a place to learn how to exist within oneself. The shadows play tricks on the eye, creating soft, undulating shapes along the walls. You might imagine that you see the echoes of other painters who have sat in this very spot, their spirits lingering in the grain of the wood and the pores of the stone. This studio has not just been used by one man. It is a repository of generations of effort, a lineage of masters who have all sought to achieve the same balance between the inner and outer worlds. You are a part of that lineage now, a silent participant in the tradition of the Mughal miniature. You are breathing the same air they breathed, listening to the same silence they cultivated, and feeling the same sense of detachment from the world outside. It is a powerful realization, one that links you to the deep, steady current of human history. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, notice how the darkness feels protective rather than empty. It is a vast open space in which your mind can expand. The constraints of the room no longer matter, for in your mind you can traverse the mountains and forests the painter created on his tiny sheet of paper. You can step into the scene, feeling the cool air of the painted landscape, hearing the rustle of the leaves, and sensing the absolute stillness of the water. This is the ultimate gift of the artist. He has provided you with a doorway, a threshold you can cross whenever the world feels too small or too chaotic. He has painted a world for you to inhabit, a place where you are always welcome, where you are always safe, and where you are always finally at peace. The night deepens, and with it, the stillness becomes absolute. The city outside may still be alive, but it's no longer your concern. Your concern is only this moment, this breath, and the slow rhythmic pulse of your own heart. You have let go of the day, and you are ready to enter the vast restorative realm of sleep. The studio, with its fragrance of sandalwood and its history of silence, is the perfect place to begin that journey. You are resting in the heart of an empire, yet you are completely free from its influence. You are resting in the heart of history, yet you are completely present in this moment. You are resting in the heart of yourself, and that finally is enough. As you sink into the darkness, feel the cooling touch of the stone beneath you, the gentle wrap of the night air around you, and the profound, unshakable peace that you have cultivated within these walls. You are ready. Sleep comes to you now, quiet as a falling leaf, soft as a brushstroke, deep as the lapis lazuli of the night sky. The stillness of the night within the red fort has deepened into a profound, almost musical quality. It is as if the architecture itself carved from the ancient sun-warmed earth of India, has begun to exhale the heat of the day and inhale the cooling silver light of the moon. You are still present in the studio, though the boundaries of the room seem to have softened and dissolved. The walls are no longer hard stone, but a gentle enveloping presence that keeps the restless energy of the world far at bay. There is a sense of suspended animation here, a pocket of existence where time has ceased its frantic march and settled into a slow, rhythmic pulse. The air is remarkably still, holding the lingering, comforting notes of sandalwood and the faintest trace of natural, earthy pigment dust. In this deep, quiet hour, your thoughts begin to mirror the process of the master painter. You are not chasing ideas, nor are you holding on to the remnants of the past day. Instead, you are allowing your mind to focus on the immediate, tangible reality of your existence. You feel the weight of your limbs, the softness of the bed beneath you, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. You are returning to the core of your being, stripping away the roles you play, the responsibilities you carry, and the expectations that are placed upon you. You are discovering the same truth that the painter uncovered in his hours of work, that underneath the surface of our busy, demanding lives, there is a core of stillness that is constant, reliable, and profoundly beautiful. Think about the transition from the day's labor to the night's rest. Just as the artist cleaned his tools, stored his pigments, and allowed his work to rest, so too must you tidy the contents of your mind. There is a great power in this intentionality. By acknowledging the work you have done, the challenges you have faced, and the efforts you have exerted, you can release them. You can place them in the hands of the universe, knowing that the sun will rise again tomorrow. But that for now, your only responsibility is to surrender to the peace of the night. This is not an act of giving up, it is an act of reclaiming your energy, your spirit, and your capacity for renewal. The silence is so complete that you can almost hear the slow, steady movement of the stars across the sky above the fort. It is a vast cosmic perspective that makes the worries of the human world seem appropriately small and manageable. You are a part of this immense, quiet, and beautiful universe. You are not separate from it. You are woven into its fabric. The same stillness that allows the mountain to remain a mountain and the sky to remain the sky is present within you. It is the foundation of your existence, a sanctuary that no one can breach and that nothing can disturb. When you find this place, you are truly home. As you linger in this state of deep relaxation, notice how your breathing has become almost imperceptible. It is shallow, regular, and soft, a whisper of air that connects you to the life force that flows through all things. You are completely comfortable, perfectly safe, and utterly at ease. The darkness is not a void, it is a canvas, a space of potential where you can dream and recover. You are drifting on a sea of quietude, carried by the rhythm of your own heart. The worries of the world are like small, distant ripples on the surface of a deep, calm ocean. They do not affect the stillness at the depths where you are currently resting. This experience of the studio in the Red Fort has been a journey through the layers of your own consciousness. You have moved from the chaos of the outer world into the focused, deliberate space of the artist and now into the vast, open silence of the night. Each step has been a shedding of weight, a release of pressure, and an invitation to deeper peace. You are now prepared to descend fully into the restorative realm of sleep. Sleepy History with Theodore combines the power of AI to reimagine fictional historical tales, bringing peace, relaxation, and positive emotional values to our listeners. Allow this mission to be your guide as you drift away. The narrative is closing, the light is dimming, and the world is fading. You are descending into a rest that is as deep as ancient and as beautiful as the stones of the palace. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere else to be. You are simply here in the silence, letting go and preparing for the gentle, soft arrival of sleep. The deep hours of the night have woven a tapestry of silence so thick that even the memory of sound feels like a distant abstraction. Within the stone sanctuary of the Red Fort, the air has grown cool, a crisp, refreshing chill that contrasts perfectly with the heavy, lingering scent of sandalwood that remains in the crevices of the room. You are anchored in this space, a traveler who has ventured beyond the borders of the ordinary and found a hidden province of absolute tranquility. The darkness is no longer just the absence of light. It has taken on a tactile quality, a soft velvet weight that rests against your eyelids and encourages them to stay closed. You are in a state of suspension, a point of perfect equilibrium where the burdens of the ego have been set aside, left at the threshold of the room like shoes outside a temple. Consider the gift of this detachment. Throughout the day, we are constantly bombarded by the demand for identity, for productivity, for progress. We are defined by what we do, what we own, and how we are perceived by others. But here in this midnight silence, you are none of those things. You are not your job, you are not your history, and you are not your worries. You are simply a consciousness observing the stillness. You are the observer of the stars, the witness to the quiet breath of the earth. This is the most profound freedom imaginable, and it is a state you can cultivate at will. Just as the master painter had to practice his craft for years to reach the level of focus required for his miniatures, you too are practicing the art of inner stillness. Each time you return to this feeling, the path becomes clearer and the peace becomes more accessible. This realization is the key to lasting serenity. We often think that we need to change our circumstances in order to change our internal state, that we need more time, more money, or more security to finally feel at peace. But the artist in the Red Fort proves the opposite. Even in the heart of a powerful, dangerous, and demanding empire, he created a world of beauty and grace within a few square inches of paper. He proved that the source of our contentment is not external but internal. It is a product of our focus, our intentionality, and our ability to cultivate a sanctuary within our own minds. As you rest here in the dark, know that you are not just waiting for sleep. You are learning how to be at home in yourself, regardless of the world that exists outside your skin. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, and incredibly deep. With every exhale, you are releasing the last remnants of the day's tension. You are letting go of the need to understand, the need to plan, and the need to achieve. You are embracing the power of non action, the beauty of simply being. In this state, the brain waves slow down, transitioning from the frantic beta of the waking world to the soothing alpha and theta waves of deep rest. Your body is undergoing a complete renewal, a biological reset that is as necessary and as restorative as the rest of the artist's materials at the end of his day. You are participating in the fundamental cycle of existence, the rhythm of activity and rest, of expression and withdrawal. As you continue this journey, we want to remind you that your presence here is a valued part of our community. If this exploration of historical stillness has brought you the rest you are seeking, we invite you to subscribe and follow our ongoing series. By joining us, you are not just listening to stories, you are participating in a dedicated effort to preserve the value of calm, mindfulness, and historical beauty in a world that often forgets to value them. We are building a library of tranquility, a collection of moments in time that you can return to whenever you feel the need to quiet the noise and reconnect with your inner center. Hit that subscribe button to become a regular traveler in our sanctuary. Let us continue to curate these spaces of peace together, ensuring that no matter how loud the world becomes, you always have a place where you can find rest. The night is vast and you are floating within it. There is a sense of expansion, as if your consciousness is stretching to fill the entire room, merging with the shadows, the stone, and the scent of the sandalwood. The boundary between you and your environment is thinning. You are not separate from this piece. You are made of it. The history of the Mughal court, the craft of the miniature, the silence of the red fort, all of these are now part of your own experience. They are memories you have lived even if only for this moment. They are seeds of calm that you are planting in the fertile soil of your subconscious, seeds that will grow into a deeper, more resilient sense of peace in the days to come. As the final embers of awareness begin to flicker and fade, trust in the process of sleep. It is not an end, but a transformation. It is the bridge between the effort of the day and the clarity of tomorrow. You are being carried forward by the gentle, unwavering tide of time. There is no struggle here, only the soft, beckoning call of rest. The studio is quiet. The artist is gone, and the paper is dry. The work is complete. You have achieved what you came here for. You are safe. You are still, and you are ready to slip into the deepest, most restorative sleep of your life. Let go now. Let the darkness hold you. Let the silence cradle you. And let the peace of the red fort be the last thing you feel before you drift away into the endless, beautiful dream of the night. The silence in this hour of the night is not empty. It is pregnant with the weight of centuries. You are situated in a liminal space where the architecture of the 17th century meets the quietude of your own modern consciousness. The red fort stands around you, a silent sentinel that has watched the rise and fall of dynasties, the shifting of alliances, and the inexorable march of time. Yet, within this studio, all that grand history is distilled down to the stillness of a single room. You are resting on the bedrock of human endurance, shielded by the thickness of red sandstone, insulated from the turbulent winds of the outside world. The air is cool, almost bracing, and the darkness is absolute, providing the perfect conditions for the mind to finally cease its frantic navigation of reality. Consider the rhythm of your own heart against the backdrop of this ancient stillness. Your pulse is a slow, steady drumbeat that echoes the measured pace of the artist's hand as he once moved across his paper. There is a deep biological synchronicity here, a reminder that we are creatures of nature, designed to find rest in the cycle of the sun and the moon. In our modern lives, we often fight this cycle, pushing ourselves through the night with light, noise, and constant engagement. But here, in this reconstructed memory of 1635, you have permission to surrender. You have permission to be tired. You have permission to let the day fall away, to strip off the armor of your daily responsibilities, and to simply exist in the raw, unadorned state of being. The scent of sandalwood, which has been your constant companion throughout this journey, has become a physical anchor. It is a grounding force, pulling your awareness away from the abstract, conceptual world of thought and anchoring it into the sensory, physical reality of the room. You can feel the texture of the floor beneath you, the cooling temperature of the air on your skin, and the subtle, rhythmic sensation of your lungs filling and emptying. This sensory focus is the most effective medicine for a cluttered mind. It acts as a circuit breaker, stopping the feedback loop of anxiety and replacing it with the simple, undeniable truth of the present moment. You are here, you are safe, and you are in the process of resting. Think of the painter's workshop as a model for your own inner life. He kept his tools in order, his materials in their proper places, and his mind focused on a single clear objective. He did not allow the mess of the imperial court to spill over onto his workbench. He created a boundary, a sacred space where he was the master of his environment. You have that same capacity. You can create boundaries in your own life, mental, emotional, and physical, that protect your peace. You can decide what information you allow into your mind, what demands you accept, and what energies you permit to dwell in your personal space. By curating your own inner red fort, you ensure that you always have a place to retreat to when the world becomes too demanding. As you drift deeper, the images of the studio begin to blur at the edges, transforming into a dreamscape of soft colors and gentle motions. You see the flickers of gold leaf, the deep, resonant blues of the lapis lazuli, and the vibrant living greens of the malachite. These colors are no longer external objects. They are the ingredients of your own subconscious, the building blocks of your restorative slumber. You are no longer watching the artist, you are becoming the artist, painting your own dreams with the colors of peace, tranquility, and ease. This is the transition from observation to experience, the moment where the story of the past becomes the reality of your current rest. The night is infinite, and you are a part of its vastness. The worries that felt so large at the beginning of the day have shrunk to the size of grains of sand, barely visible, completely harmless. They are being swept away by the tide of your own relaxation. You are feeling lighter, more fluid, more open to the possibilities of the dream world. There is no urgency to wake, no need to be anywhere, and no requirement to do anything. Your only task is to follow the path of your breath into the deeper layers of consciousness. The studio is quiet, the walls are thick, and the safety you feel is absolute. You are being held by the history of the world and by the grace of your own stillness. Let go of the last threads of awareness. Let the quiet overtake you and sink into the warm, comforting embrace of the deep night. You are ready. The environment around you has shifted from the tangible reality of the studio into the ethereal, shimmering landscape of the dream state. In this deep midnight expanse, the walls of the red fort feel less like stone and more like a protective membrane, separating your consciousness from the outer chaotic world. You are drifting weightless within this sanctum. The air is no longer merely cool, it is charged with a quiet static electricity, a hum of potential that vibrates at the frequency of rest. The lingering fragrance of sandalwood has become internalized, a scent that seems to originate from the center of your own being, grounding you in a place of profound, unshakable calm. You are no longer in Delhi, 1635. You are in the place beyond time, where the history of the world is rewritten in the soft, inkless strokes of a resting mind. Consider the absolute crystalline clarity of this stillness. In our normal lives, silence is often feared, seen as a space that must be filled with sound, distraction, or conversation. But here you have discovered that silence is a substance, it is a nourishment. It is the raw material from which the soul repairs itself by allowing yourself to be submerged in this deep, resonant silence. You are undergoing a restorative process that reaches down into the very cellular foundations of your being. The anxiety of the day, the relentless pursuit of goals, the tangled web of interpersonal connections. All of these things have been dissolved by the sheer force of this quietude. You are returning to the state of an uncarved block, a point of total potentiality where you are finally free from the constraints of your own identity. Think of the master painter one last time. His work was an act of extreme focused discipline. But even he knew when to put the brush down. He knew that the painting could not be finished without the contribution of the night. The drying of the pigments, the settling of the gum arabic, the quiet absorption of the colors into the paper. All of this happened in the dark. In the moments when the artist was absent, your life works the same way. You cannot force the resolution of your problems, the growth of your skills, or the healing of your spirit through sheer conscious effort. Much of the most important work of being human happens in the dark, in the quiet, in the moments when you are not striving, not judging, and not doing. By resting, you are actually working. By stopping, you are actually moving forward. The darkness is now your closest ally. It is a vast, expansive mirror that reflects the peace you have cultivated within. As you look out into the nothingness of the night, you don't see emptiness, you see possibility. You see the deep, dark blue of the lapis sky the painter labored over. You see the rich emerald shadows of the forests he rendered. You see a world that is calm, ordered, and perfectly at peace. And the most beautiful part of this realization is that this world is your own. You have cultivated it, nurtured it, and protected it. You are the architect of your own sanctuary, and you are the inhabitant of your own grace. The walls of the Red Fort are merely a metaphor for the strength of your own resolve to be at peace. Your body is completely surrendered. Your muscles are loose, your limbs feel heavy and warm, and your breathing is as steady as the turning of the stars. There is a sense of immense gentle gravity pulling you downward into the soft velvet dark. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. There is no tomorrow yet, and yesterday has been left far behind. There is only the here, the now, and the infinite soothing expanse of the night. Feel the slow rhythmic pulse of the world, a heartbeat that is shared by the stones, the stars, and your own physical form. You are in rhythm with the universe. You are in harmony with the natural order. As you descend deeper, notice the lightness that begins to permeate your thoughts. The heavy linear logic of the daytime mind is fading, replaced by the fluid associative wisdom of the dream world. You are entering the realm where colors have sounds, where memories are landscapes, and where peace is a physical sensation. This is the place where the soul resides, unencumbered by the demands of the world. It is the place of true rest, the ultimate recharge for the human spirit. The studio is gone. The Red Fort is a memory, and you are entirely free. Let the last remnants of the external world fade into the background. Trust in the darkness. Trust in the silence. Trust in yourself. The journey is complete, and the destination is the deep, restorative, and infinite peace of sleep. You are already halfway there. Just one more breath, one more letting go, and you will be fully immersed in the stillness. The night has achieved a perfect crystalline silence, a stillness so profound that it seems to vibrate with the very energy of the universe. You are no longer merely resting. You are floating in the deep oceanic dark of a consciousness that has expanded beyond the confines of the body. The Red Fort, once a physical structure of red sandstone and marble screens, has transformed into a symbol of your own internal stability, a fortress constructed of patience, intent, and the refusal to be moved by the turbulence of the world. You are suspended in this sanctuary, the air cool and fragrant, the darkness a comforting embrace that whispers of infinite possibility and absolute safety. The memory of the artist's work, those tiny, perfectly placed dots of malachite and lapis, serves as the final tether to the waking world, a reminder that even the most complex reality can be resolved into a single peaceful point of focus. Consider the journey you have taken. You stepped out of the roar of the modern world, through the thick insulating walls of history, and into a space of singular meditative focus. You have watched the process of creation, not as a spectator, but as an intimate participant, breathing in the scent of sandalwood, feeling the rhythmic cadence of the brush, and witnessing the transformation of raw materials into a world of beauty. You have learned that the greatest power does not lie in the ability to command the loud outward world, but in the ability to curate the quiet inward one. You have seen that peace is not an absence of life, but a deliberate, disciplined alignment of the mind with the stillness that exists at the heart of all things. This realization is your reward, and it is a treasure that you can carry with you, long after the memory of this studio fades. As you stand on the threshold of deep, restorative sleep, remember that this journey is always available to you. We are building a sanctuary of stories, a library of quiet historical reflections designed to help you navigate the noise of your life. If you have found value in this moment of stillness, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and become a part of our growing community of peace seekers. By following our journey, you ensure that you can always return to this place of calm, this digital red fort where the world's demands are muted and your spirit can find the rest it deserves. Let this be your regular ritual, a commitment to your own well-being, a declaration that your peace of mind is worth protecting. Click the subscribe button, join our circle of calm, and let us continue to explore the hidden, quiet corners of history together. The transition into sleep is now gentle and inevitable, like a boat drifting into a quiet, protected harbor. The last thoughts of your conscious mind are soft, diffuse, and luminous. You are no longer planning, no longer evaluating, and no longer wondering about what tomorrow will bring. You have done enough. You have been enough. The cycle of the day is closed. The tools are put away, and the canvas of your life is clear, ready to be prepared for the morning's work. But for now, there is only the night. There is only the vast, deep, and beautifully empty space of the present moment. You are free to drift, free to dream, and free to simply be without condition or expectation. Feel the floor beneath you, the cool air around you, and the slow, steady rhythm of your own heart. These are the touchstones of your reality, the anchors that hold you in the present while your spirit begins its voyage into the restorative realm of dreams. You are held in a web of silence, supported by the weight of your own existence and protected by the stillness of the night. Every breath brings you closer to the absolute center of your own being, a place where you are untouched by the chaos of the world, a place that is perfectly, eternally calm. There is no conflict here, no desire and no fear. There is only the quiet, rhythmic pulse of the night, a heartbeat that is the same in every century, a sound that is the same for every traveler who has ever sought peace in the darkness. As you sink deeper into the embrace of sleep, let the image of the miniature landscape be the final vision behind your eyes. See the mountain peaks catching the light. See the reflection of the sky in the water. See the tiny detailed world that was born from nothing but patience and a single hair. Carry that image with you. It is a symbol of your own capacity to create, to focus, and to find beauty in the small, the quiet, and the neglected. You are the artist of your own life, and the canvas is vast, vibrant, and waiting for your touch. For now, however, rest. Sleep is calling you, soft as a shadow, deep as the night. Let go of the last vestige of the day. Let the stillness take you entirely and drift away into the deep, sweet silence of a well-earned rest. Everything is at peace. You are at peace. Sleep now, deeply and well. The night has settled into a profound, velvety texture that seems to cling to the walls of the studio, smoothing out the sharp edges of reality. You are floating within this darkness, a consciousness untethered from the demands of time and place. The Red Fort, once a symbol of monumental imperial power, has now become a vessel for your own quietude. The massive sandstone walls are not barriers to be overcome, but foundations upon which you have built your own sense of security. The air is cool and stagnant in the most comforting way, carrying the persistent, earthy notes of sandalwood and the ghost of mineral dust. It is as if the room itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to surrender entirely to the stillness that has been cultivated here. Think of the stillness as an expansive ocean. You have been walking along the shore, observing the tides and the waves, but now you have decided to step in, to let the water support your weight. You are moving from the state of observation into the state of immersion. Every part of your being, your muscles, your organs, your very thoughts is beginning to vibrate at the same frequency as the room. You are not fighting against the silence. You are becoming an extension of it. There is no longer a you and a room. There is only a single unified field of quiet existence. This is the ultimate destination of the meditative journey, the place where the self dissolves into the totality of the moment. The darkness is not a void. It's a tapestry of memories and possibilities as you lie in this deep restorative state. You can feel the echoes of the 17th century, not as a historical fact, but as a felt presence. The patience of the master painter, the dedication of the craftsman, the luxury of the royal courts, all of these elements are woven into the atmosphere, creating a protective layer of calm. You are resting in the lap of history, shielded by the endurance of those who came before you. They too knew the value of the quiet. They too understood that the most important work of the mind happens away from the noise of the public eye. Your breathing has reached a point of perfect, effortless regularity. It is a slow, rhythmic tide that ebbs and flows in complete harmony with the stillness of the room. You are not trying to slow your breath down, you are simply allowing it to be what it needs to be. This is the secret of deep relaxation, the release of the need to control. By letting go of the steering wheel, you allow the universe to take you exactly where you need to go, and where you are going is a place of profound recovery. Every nerve ending is being soothed, every tension is being dissolved, and every worry is being swept away by the current of the night. Consider the beauty of the microscopic. You have been witness to the creation of a world on a surface no larger than your hand. You have seen how a single fine hair can delineate a horizon, how a microscopic dot of malachite can evoke a forest, and how a touch of lapis can conjure a sky. This is the lesson of the miniature, that depth is not a function of size but of attention. You do not need to expand your life outward to find meaning. You only need to look more closely at the space you are already occupying. The joy of the world is hiding in the details, in the texture of a leaf, in the quality of the light, in the scent of the air, and in the rhythm of your own heart. As the darkness deepens, the world outside ceases to exist. There is no city of Delhi, no empire of the Mughals, no bustling life of the 21st century. There is only the room, the silence, and the peaceful rhythmic pulse of your own existence. You are perfectly placed, perfectly safe, and perfectly at peace. The night is doing its work for you. It is knitting together the frayed edges of your mind, cooling the heat of your emotions, and restoring the clarity of your spirit. You are being renewed in the most fundamental way. Trust in this process. Lean into the weight of the dark. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and everything is, in this moment, entirely and beautifully correct. The deep resonant silence of the red fort has now completely enveloped your consciousness, transforming the physical space into a sanctuary of the mind. You are drifting, not through the corridors of a palace, but through the vast, quiet chambers of your own inner being. The heavy red sandstone walls that once served to guard an empire now serve a more intimate purpose. They guard your peace. You feel the coolness of the stone radiating inward, a steady, grounding temperature that encourages the heat of the day's worries to evaporate into the stillness. The scent of sandalwood, now faint and sweet, acts as a gentle tether, keeping you anchored to the present moment, even as your mind begins to venture into the soft, welcoming waters of the dream state. Consider the act of release. Throughout your waking hours, you hold yourself together. You maintain your posture, your focus, your identity, and your schedule. You are the architect of your own experience, and it is a tiring, constant labor. But here, in this quiet, hidden room of 1635, that labor is no longer required. You have laid down your tools. You have stepped away from the workbench. You have left the brushes, the pigments, and the delicate paper in the care of the night. There is no one here to judge your work, no one to demand progress, and no one to question your presence. You are allowed to be, for the first time in a long time, entirely unburdened. The relief of this realization is like a weight being lifted from your shoulders, a sudden lightness that makes your very bones feel at rest. The darkness is no longer just the absence of light. It has become a protective substance, a thick, comforting medium in which you are suspended. Think of how the master painter saw his world, not as a flat, empty space, but as a vast potential landscape awaiting the touch of his brush. Your night is the same. It is not empty, though it appears so. It is filled with the calm energy of potential, the quiet waiting for the next cycle of life to begin. You are part of this cycle. By resting, you're not missing out on life, you're participating in the essential rhythmic pause that makes all life possible. You are gathering your strength, replenishing your spirit, and preparing for the next time you must go out into the world and paint your own reality. Your breathing is the only clock that matters now. It is a slow, rhythmic pulse that marks the passage of your journey deeper into sleep. Inhale the cool, fragrant air, and with it, inhale a sense of absolute safety. Exhale the last lingering thoughts of the day, and with them, exhale any need to remain alert or aware. You are sinking deeper, past the surface level noise of the mind, past the analytical thinking layers, and into the warm, wordless core of your being. This is the place of true rest. It is a place where you are not who you were yesterday, nor who you will be tomorrow. You are simply the witness of your own stillness. You are the heartbeat of the red fort. Notice how the world of the studio has become internalized. The fine squirrel hair brush, the vibrant malachite, the deep celestial lapis, the polished ivory toned paper. These are no longer external objects. They are symbols of the precision and beauty you have now invited into your own mind. You have learned that your life can be crafted with the same care and intention that the master painter brought to his art. You do not need to live in a state of chaos. You can choose to live in a state of deliberate, focused beauty. By remembering this space, by returning to the feeling of this cool, quiet air, you can build your own studio in the middle of any storm. You are the curator of your own peace. The night is calling you further down. There is a gentle downward pull, a soft gravity that is beckoning you into the deepest, most restorative layer of slumber. It is a place where dreams are woven from the quiet threads of your day, where the mind is healed by the gentle, repetitive motion of rest. There is no need to worry about what happens next. The night will take care of everything. The morning will come in its own time, with its own light, and you will be ready for it. For now, there is only this. There is only the silence of the stone, the scent of the sandalwood, and the steady rhythmic comfort of your own breath. You are safe, you are at peace, let go. Let the night carry you into the deep, sweet darkness. Everything is perfectly still. Everything is perfectly calm. You are home. The architecture of the Red Fort, with its thick walls and vaulted ceilings, has now become a physical extension of your own calm mind. The space within the studio has expanded, the boundaries between the room and the night sky fading into a singular, infinite horizon of stillness. You are resting in the heart of this silence, feeling the cool subterranean temperature of the stone seep into your limbs, calming the nervous energy that often accompanies the end of a long day. The sandalwood, which earlier seemed a distinct scent, now feels like an ambient part of the atmosphere, a subtle woody perfume that has become the signature of your sanctuary. You are no longer observing history. You are inhabiting it, occupying the space where time seems to hold its breath. Think about the profound luxury of this moment. In a world defined by the relentless pursuit of more information, more connection, more achievement, you have chosen the radical, quiet path of less. You have allowed the world to fall away piece by piece until only the most essential parts remain: your breath, your comfort, and your awareness. This is not a deficiency, it is a profound abundance. By stripping away the non-essential, you have found the space to truly experience yourself. You are not defined by the roles you play for others or the tasks you perform for the empire of the world. You are defined only by your presence in this deep, resonant quiet. The painter's method, the one you have witnessed and absorbed over these hours, is a testament to the power of the singular. He did not try to capture the entire Mughal empire on his paper. He captured a single tree, a single pool, a single moment of light. He understood that the universal can be found within the particular. You have practiced this same wisdom by focusing on the texture of the sandalwood scent, the rhythm of the stone's cool air, and the steady, slow movement of your own lungs. You have accessed a universal peace. You have shown that you do not need the entire world to be at rest. You only need to be fully, completely, and intentionally present in the space you occupy. As the night stretches on, your body continues to soften. The subtle tensions that usually hide in the shoulders, The jaw and the base of the skull are dissolving into the floor beneath you. You are becoming a fluid, yielding presence. The darkness is your medium now, and you are shaping it with your breath. With each inhale, you draw in the stillness of the night. With each exhale, you release the remnants of the day's external demands. This is a rhythmic meditative cycle that is healing you at a fundamental level. You are being rebalanced, recalibrated, and restored. The chaos of the world has been replaced by the order of your own inner peace. Remember that this quiet is not a temporary state, but a fundamental truth. Even when you leave this studio, even when you return to the noise and the motion of the 21st century, this capacity for stillness will remain within you. It is not something you have to create. It is something you have to uncover. It is always there, beneath the surface of your thoughts, beneath the layers of your daily activity, waiting for you to return to it. You have built a map in your mind, a pathway back to this room, back to the red fort, back to the master painter's silent work. This is a tool you can use whenever the world feels overwhelming. You can close your eyes, find the scent of the sandalwood, hear the faint scratch of the brush, and instantly find your center once more. The deep, dreamless phase of sleep is now beckoning, a soft, inviting darkness that promises the ultimate renewal. There is no need to hold on to the last bits of your day, no need to keep watch over your thoughts. You have done the work, you have completed the journey, and you have earned this rest. Let the final threads of awareness fray and dissolve. Let the weight of your body sink into the infinite support of the earth. Everything is quiet. Everything is. The studio is at rest. The painting is finished, and the night is complete. You are safe, you are held, and you are ready. Let go and slip into the infinite, restorative silence. The darkness surrounding you has reached a state of absolute velvet purity. You are currently suspended in the deepest, most tranquil stratum of the night, a place where the passage of time is no longer measured in minutes or hours, but in the slow rhythmic cycles of the breath. The red fort in your mind's eye has become a soft, glowing icon, a beacon of historical stillness that you carry within you. The red sandstone walls have transformed into a metaphor for your own mental fortitude, a boundary that keeps the noise, the urgency, and the demands of the modern world at a safe and respectful distance. You feel the cool, clean air of the studio circulating around you, and with every cycle, it refreshes your senses, clearing away the last cobwebs of complex thought until only the simple, undeniable reality of your presence remains. Think of the way the master painter prepared his workspace. He did not simply sit down and start. He curated his environment. He acknowledged the materials. He prepared the pigments. And he established the conditions for his success. You have done the same by spending this time in the sanctuary of this story. You have prepared your own mind for the work of rest. You have acknowledged the exhaustion of your body. You have gathered your focus, and you have created the conditions for a deep, restorative sleep. This intentionality is the secret to a life that feels aligned and at peace. You are not a victim of your schedule. You are the architect of your own restorative processes. The scent of sandalwood, which you have followed throughout this journey, has now become a scent of safety. Whenever you encounter it in the world outside, it will act as a psychological anchor, instantly triggering the memory of this quiet room and the profound peace you have found within it. This is a powerful protective tool you have forged. By linking a sensory experience to a state of internal tranquility, you have created a shortcut to your own center. You can return to this place whenever you need to, in the middle of a crowded street, at the end of a stressful meeting, or in the quiet hours of a lonely night. The studio is not gone. It is a permanent part of your inner geography. Your body is now so deeply relaxed that it feels as though it is melting into the surface beneath you. The boundary between your physical form and the environment has become soft, porous, and gentle. You are no longer holding yourself together. You are allowing yourself to be held. The gravity of the earth is your friend, a constant supporting force that invites you to release all effort. There is no muscle in your body that is not perfectly loose. There is no thought in your mind that is not perfectly quiet. You are in the state of total surrender, the place where the nervous system recalibrates and the soul finds its anchor. Consider the beauty of the silence one more time. It is a vast open landscape, a canvas that is infinite in its dimensions. You are moving through it with the grace of a silent, drifting cloud. There is no destination you need to reach, no accomplishment you need to mark, no standard you need to meet. You are simply existing in the most fundamental way, a living, breathing, resting part of the universe. This is the truth of your nature. Everything else, the jobs, the titles, the roles, the worries, are just costumes you put on for the day. At night, you return to your true self, the unadorned, peaceful, and perfectly content essence that exists beneath it all. The night is infinite, and you are its most honored guest. The stars are watching over the fort. The history of the world is sleeping in the stones, and you are resting in the center of it all. There is a profound sense of completeness in this experience. You have traveled far. You have learned the lessons of the artisan, and you have arrived at the destination of perfect rest. Let the darkness take you the rest of the way. Do not hold on to the last strands of the narrative. Let the story dissolve into the experience of sleep. You are safe. You are cared for. You are ready. The silence is yours to keep. The peace is yours to inhabit. Drift now into the deep, sweet, and eternal silence of the night. Sleep well, for you have earned this quiet sanctuary. The air in the chamber has grown even cooler, a refreshing, crisp temperature that settles deep into your chest, bringing with it a sense of absolute clarity. You are now so far removed from the bustling life of the capital that even the memory of sound feels like a distant, irrelevant echo. The red fort stands around you, a silent, ancient guardian of the peace you have cultivated within these walls. You feel the weight of the stone, the history of the artisans who once toiled here, and the quiet, persistent pulse of the earth itself, all vibrating in a gentle, rhythmic harmony with your own resting body. The scent of sandalwood remains, but it has transformed from a distinct fragrance into an atmospheric presence, a comforting woody essence that permeates the very air you breathe, acting as a final grounding seal on your transition into sleep. Consider the journey of the pigments, the malachite and lapis lazuli from the rough, raw subterranean earth, through the labor of the master's hand, into the refined, delicate, and permanent beauty on the paper. This is the ultimate metaphor for your own existence. You too have been tempered by the pressures and the heat of the world, and like the pigments, you are now finding your own refinement. The work you have done today, the conscious effort to sit, to breathe, to focus, and to let go, is the process of your own transformation. You are not the same person who began this story. You are someone who has learned to carve out a sanctuary in the heart of chaos, someone who understands the power of the infinitesimal, and someone who knows that the truest peace is not found, but built. Your focus has shifted from the visual to the sensory. You no longer need to see the studio. You feel it. You feel the texture of the cool, smooth floor. You feel the gentle, rhythmic expansion of your lungs. You feel the subtle, relaxing weight of your eyelids. You are fully anchored in the physical, which is the surest way to abandon the complex, spinning machinery of the intellect. When the mind tries to grab hold of a thought, a worry, or a memory, you can simply bring it back to this anchor, the weight of your body, the coolness of the air, the rhythm of your breath. This is the practice of mindfulness, a skill that will serve you throughout your entire life, making every moment more vivid and every challenge more manageable. The dark is now so soft and so thick that it feels like a physical blanket, tucking you in with the weight of the night itself. There is an immense quiet power in this feeling of being held. You are not alone. You are supported by the entirety of the moment. The history of the Red Fort, the silence of the night, the vastness of the cosmos, they are all providing the environment for your recovery. You are a part of a massive interconnected system that is designed for growth, for rest, and for restoration. By succumbing to sleep, you are not failing. You are participating in the highest order of the system. You are doing exactly what you were meant to do. Think of the stillness as a river, a slow, deep, and steady current that is carrying you gently toward a sea of deep slumber. There is no need to swim. There is no need to steer. You are being held up by the buoyancy of the silence. Let yourself be carried. Let go of the desire to know where you are going or what time it is. The night is infinite and it is entirely yours. You are the sole inhabitant of this peaceful dark kingdom, a place where no harm can reach you and no demand can be made of you. This is the ultimate sanctuary. This is the place where you become whole again. As you drift closer to the edge, the last images of the artist's studio, the delicate lines of the brush, the vibrant colors of the landscape, the soft, dappled light of the jali, begin to dissolve into a gentle abstract wash of color and light behind your eyes. They are no longer pictures. They are sensations, feelings of calm, and images of peace. You are holding these feelings in your heart as you prepare to cross the final threshold. There is a sense of immense gratitude, a feeling of being centered and complete. The world is quiet. Your mind is quiet. Your body is quiet. Sleep is here, soft as a whisper, inevitable as the dawn. Let go of the very last thread of wakefulness. Step out of the light of the present and into the healing, eternal dark of the night. You are ready. You are whole. You are at rest. The atmosphere within the studio has reached a state of perfect crystalline stillness, a resonance that vibrates at the frequency of profound rest. The stone walls of the Red Fort, which have stood firm for centuries, now serve as a soft, comforting boundary, sealing you away from the chaotic currents of the outside world. You are deeply embedded in the sanctuary of this moment, cradled by the history of the room and the intentional silence you have cultivated. The air is cool, holding the lingering earthy essence of sandalwood and the microscopic dry dust of natural pigments, a scent that has become the aromatic anchor of your inner peace. In this deep midnight expanse, your breathing has become a whisper, a rhythmic expansion and contraction of your being that mirrors the slow, steady rotation of the planet itself. Consider the immense strength required to exist in such stillness. We often mistake movement for power and noise for importance, but the artist in the Red Fort understood that the most enduring things are built in the silence. His miniature portraits, painted with a single hair and absolute unwavering focus, have outlasted empires. They serve as a reminder that the human spirit possesses an infinite capacity for depth, provided we are willing to withdraw from the shallow demands of the surface. You have tapped into this power. You have successfully withdrawn your attention from the trivial and anchored it in the essential. This is not a passive act, it is a masterclass in self-possession. You have reclaimed your right to be still, to be present, and to be whole. The darkness is now so absolute that it feels as though you are floating in the vast, star-filled space beyond the earth. There is no sensation of weight, no feeling of being anchored to a floor or a bed. You are merely a spark of consciousness drifting in a sea of restorative calm. The boundaries of your physical form have thinned, becoming porous and light, allowing the silence of the room to pass through you and fill you. You are not just in the studio, you are the studio. The silence of the stone, the fragrance of the wood, the memory of the painter's work, all of these are flowing through you, cleansing the remnants of your daily stressors and replacing them with a cool, stable clarity. As you sink into the lower depths of this slumber, visualize the landscape the artist was painting, that miniature world of green forests, blue skies, and reflective pools. Imagine yourself entering that frame. Picture yourself walking along a soft, grass-covered path in that perfectly rendered garden. The air there is fresh, the light is gentle, and the silence is absolute. There is no one there but you, and there is nowhere else you need to be. You can sit by the painted pool, watching the reflection of the clouds, and feel the absolute, unshakable contentment of being in a place where nothing is broken and nothing is in a hurry. This is your mental sanctuary, a place you have earned through your dedication to this practice. It is waiting for you whenever you need to escape the pressures of the waking world. The rhythm of your life is now slowing to the pace of a dream. You are moving away from the analytical problem solving mind and into the intuitive healing mind. This shift is essential, for it is during these quiet subconscious hours that your memories are sorted, your emotions are balanced, and your body's tissues are renewed. You are participating in the grand natural process of healing that every living thing experiences. By simply being here, by simply resting, you are doing the most important work of your life. You are ensuring that you remain vibrant, capable, and whole. Do not judge your need for this rest. Honor it. Embrace it as the most sacred part of your day. The night is deep and you are descending into the very center of it. There is a sense of coming home, a feeling of arrival that is both physical and spiritual. The walls of the red fort are guarding you. The silence is singing to you, and the darkness is holding you in its warm velvet embrace. All of your responsibilities, all of your tasks, and all of your concerns have been set aside. They have been placed in the competent hands of the world, which will keep turning without your active interference. You are finally truly free. Let go of the last faint tether to the waking world. Allow yourself to be put down, gently and safely, into the infinite restorative sea of sleep. You have done the work. You have reached the peace. Now simply rest. Everything is perfect. Everything is still. Sleep is here. The atmosphere of the Red Fort at this hour is not merely quiet. It is sanctified by the weight of the night. You are resting within a cocoon of ancient cool stone, a place where the frenetic energy of the 17th century Mughal court has long since faded, leaving behind only the distilled essence of concentration and peace. The air is remarkably still, holding the scent of the sandalwood paste and the faint mineral trace of ground pigments that once defined this space as a workshop of beauty. You're anchored here, your consciousness drifting in the soft, dark currents of a mind that has finally ceased its restless scanning of the world. The silence is your partner now, a deep, resonant presence that affirms your right to exist, to rest, and to recover. Consider the journey that brought you to this sanctuary. You began by stepping out of the chaos of the modern world, crossing a threshold into a space designed for supreme focus and artistic devotion. You witnessed the master painter, not through the lens of history, but through the intimacy of presence, as he reduced the complexity of the world to the single perfect stroke of a brush. You have seen how beauty is not found in the grand gestures, but in the microscopic details, the steady hand, and the patient heart. You have learned that the key to tranquility is not found by changing your circumstances, but by shifting your perspective, by choosing to inhabit the sanctuary of your own focused attention, and by honoring the need for intentional restorative silence. This is a lesson that serves you well beyond this moment. Life will continue to present its challenges. The world will continue to be loud, demanding, and relentless. But you now possess a mental map to this studio in the Red Fort. Whenever the pressures of your daily life feel overwhelming, remember the coolness of this stone, the scent of the sandalwood, and the absolute, unwavering steadiness of the painter's hand. Remember that you have the capacity to withdraw into your own internal sanctuary, to put down your tools, to breathe, and to simply be. This is your birthright, a core of stillness that no external force can touch. Protect it, nurture it, and return to it often. As you have traveled this path with us, you have become a valued member of our community of seekers, those who recognize that in our fast-paced world, the act of slowing down is the most revolutionary thing one can do. If you have found solace, clarity, or a deeper sense of peace in these sessions, we invite you to subscribe and follow our ongoing narrative. By doing so, you ensure that you are never far from these quiet corners of history, these carefully curated experiences of rest that help to mend the spirit and calm the mind. Let us continue to build this library of stillness together, one story at a time. Click that subscribe button, join our circle, and make this a regular part of your journey toward wellness. The transition into the deepest phase of slumber is now nearly complete. Your body feels light, almost as if it is floating in the dark, and your mind has let go of the last remnants of structured thought. The images of the studio, the delicate jelly screens, the soft ribbons of light, the vibrant glowing colors are softening and blurring, becoming the building blocks of your dreams. There is a profound sense of satisfaction in this moment, a feeling that everything has been handled, that every loose end of the day has been tied, and that the only remaining task is to succumb to the restorative power of the night. You are in a state of perfect grace. There is no longer a you that is separate from the environment. The walls, the air, the scent, the silence, and your own physical form are all part of a single tranquil whole. You are resting in the heart of the world, shielded by the endurance of the past and the stillness of the present. The night is doing its work, a gentle, unseen labor that will return you to yourself by morning, refreshed and renewed. Trust in this process. Let go of the need to understand, to anticipate, or to hold on. The darkness is your friend. The silence is your guide, and the peace of the red fort is your permanent companion. Everything is ready. The world is waiting for you to sleep, and you are ready to oblige. Fall deeper, now into the infinite, restorative dark, and sleep with the quiet, untroubled certainty of a heart that is completely at peace. The profound stillness of the night within the red fort has now reached a point of absolute meditative suspension. You are resting at the very center of this silence, a place where the boundaries of the self seem to blur into the dark, comforting architecture of the space. The air is remarkably cool, carrying the residual memory of the day's warmth in the thick sandstone walls, while the scent of sandalwood has become a soft underlying layer of your own breathing. There is no longer any distinction between the past and the present. You are simply existing in a timeless pocket of reality, where the only requirement is to let go. The frantic energy of the 17th century court, the clamor of the imperial capital, and the relentless noise of the modern world have all been filtered out, leaving behind a pure crystalline essence of calm. Consider the nature of this quiet. It is not an absence but a presence, a deep, resonant field of peace that you have learned to inhabit. By choosing to step into this narrative, you have successfully detached your nervous system from the high-frequency vibrations of daily life. You have allowed your heartbeat to slow, your muscles to soften, and your thoughts to lose their sharp biting edges. This is the ultimate form of self-care. It is a return to the natural state of being, where the body is relaxed, the mind is open, and the soul is aligned with the steady pulsing rhythm of the universe. You are experiencing the deep, restorative grace that was once the secret of the Mughal masters, a grace that enabled them to remain centered even in the heart of a vast, unpredictable empire. As you drift closer to the final depths of slumber, notice how the very air around you seems to shimmer with the promise of rest. You are floating in a void of perfect safety. The history of the Red Fort, with all its power and its fragility, is now a distant, harmless dream that serves only to frame your own peace. You are the protagonist of this story, the one who found the secret room, the one who learned the lesson of the single brushstroke, and the one who has now earned the right to total, unbroken sleep. There is no one who can reach you here, no demand that can disturb you, and no future that requires your immediate attention. You are perfectly placed in the eternal now. The sensations of your body have become almost imperceptible, a testament to how deeply the relaxation has taken hold. You are light, unburdened, and fluid. The weight of your day has been entirely surrendered to the surface beneath you, and in return, you feel a sense of profound ethereal lightness. Your mind is like a calm, mirror like pool, reflecting nothing but the quiet, dark expanse of the night. There are no ripples of thought, no currents of anxiety, and no shadows of doubt. Everything is clear, everything is still. You have achieved a state of mental transparency that is the true gateway to the deepest, most healing phases of sleep. Think of the painter's workshop as a sacred space of transition, just as he would leave his tools at the end of the day, signaling the completion of the work. You are now signaling the completion of your waking consciousness. You are closing the book of the day, folding the pages of your tasks, and turning off the light of your active striving mind. This is a powerful intentional act. You are taking back control of your own internal landscape. You are deciding that for the next several hours, the world will have to manage itself without your input. This is not an abandonment, it is a vital, necessary recovery. You are preparing to be stronger, clearer, and more focused when you wake, precisely because you have honored the depth of this sleep. The darkness is now complete and all-encompassing. It is a warm protective shroud that tucks you into the center of the night. There is no need for words, no need for images, and no need for logic. You are being carried by the gentle, steady current of your own breath, moving toward a vast, open ocean of sleep. The silence is profound, a deep musical hum that vibrates in the center of your chest. You are safe, you are at home, you are ready. Let the last remnants of the external world dissolve entirely into the soft velvet dark. Everything is right, everything is quiet, everything is still. Sleep comes to you now, as natural and as inevitable as the stars appearing in the evening sky. You are resting in the heart of the world and you are entirely at peace. The absolute silence of the deep night has become a physical presence, a soft velvet weight that rests gently upon your senses. Within the ancient, thick-walled confines of the Red Fort, time itself appears to have stalled, caught in the eternal, breathless stillness of the 17th century. You are resting in the heart of this quiet, a traveler who has successfully navigated the turbulent waters of the day and found a hidden harbor of restorative peace. The air is cool and impeccably clean, carrying the faint, lingering soul of the sandalwood that once graced the master painter's workbench. It is a grounding scent, one that anchors you to the earth, reminding you of the physical, tangible reality of your sanctuary. Even as your mind begins to soar into the limitless, starry expanse of the dream state. Consider the architecture of your own consciousness as you drift. Throughout the day, you constructed complex mental buildings, plans, memories, anxieties, and responsibilities, each room filled with the furniture of your ego. But here, in this midnight hour, you are dismantling those structures. You are removing the heavy, ornate decorations, the doors that lead to worry, and the windows that look out onto the chaos of the future. You are clearing the space, returning the building of your mind to its original foundational state, a simple quiet room of stone and light. This is the profound work of sleep. It is the act of returning to your essence, shedding the skin of your daily identity so that you may emerge renewed and clean in the morning light. The darkness is no longer a void, it has become an infinite protective and nurturing womb. Within this darkness, you are not alone. You are accompanied by the rhythm of your own heart, a steady, low-frequency drumbeat that serves as the foundation for your rest. This rhythm is the same one that pulsed through the veins of the artists, the kings, and the commoners who once walked these same stone floors. It is the human rhythm, the ancient biological cadence that connects you to every living thing that has ever sought shelter from the storm and found peace in the stillness of the night. You are part of an unbroken lineage of breathers, sleepers, and dreamers, and you are currently in the most sacred phase of that cycle. As your awareness continues to thin, notice the way the memory of the painters work. Those minuscule vibrant dots of malachite and lapis has transformed into abstract fields of energy. The green of the forest is now a sense of freshness. The blue of the sky is now a sense of limitless possibility. The silver of the reflection is now a sense of internal clarity. These sensations are the language of your subconscious, the way your mind processes the beauty you have witnessed. You are no longer watching an external process, you are being internally transformed by it. You are becoming a canvas of calm, a space where the noise of the world is translated into the music of rest. Do not fear the depths of this surrender. The further you sink, the safer you become. The conscious analytical mind is like a small boat on the surface of the ocean. It is easily buffeted by the winds of thought and the tides of daily experience. But beneath that surface, in the depths where you are now traveling, the ocean is perfectly calm. The currents are steady, the temperature is constant, and the pressure is a supportive, comforting hold. You are descending into that depth. You are letting go of the small boat, letting it drift away, and becoming part of the vast, stable, and peaceful ocean itself. This is where you belong. This is where you heal. The night is infinite, and you are its masterpiece of stillness. There is no urgency in the cosmos, no deadline in the stars, and no pressure in the turning of the earth. Everything is moving at its own perfect, unhurried pace, and you are in total synchronization with that flow. Let the last lingering threads of your identity fall away, like the petals of a night-blooming flower. You are becoming pure, formless peace. You are the silence of the stone. You are the scent of the wood. You are the rhythm of the breath. You are ready to enter the final, deepest realm of the night, where only dreams and restoration reside. Sleep now deeply, profoundly, and without end. You are at the center of your own quiet world, and all is well. The night has matured into its deepest, most crystalline phase, a time when the world outside the red fort feels like a fading memory, a distant echo of a life lived in a different dimension. Within the sanctuary of the studio, the air is not just air. It is a weightless, cooling balm that rests against your skin, carrying with it the distilled essence of centuries of stillness. The walls of the fortress, thick with the history of the Mughal Empire, act as a silent bulwark against the entropy of the modern age. You are anchored here, caught in the gentle rhythmic grip of a profound meditative state where the concept of doing has been entirely replaced by the singular glorious act of being. The scent of sandalwood remains a loyal companion, a woody grounding note that prevents your consciousness from drifting too far, ensuring that even in your deepest state of relaxation, you remain connected to the physical sensory reality of this protected space. Consider the discipline required to cultivate such peace. You have spent this journey observing the master painter, whose entire life was a testament to the fact that greatness is not found in the loudness of the world, but in the focused, unwavering dedication to the small, the quiet, and the true. His miniatures were not just paintings. They were portals, thresholds that he crossed to reach a place where the ego could be forgotten and the spirit could be expanded. You have used his process as your own model. By following the strokes of his brush, by breathing with the pace of his labor, and by honoring the stillness of his room, you have mirrored his transformation. You are no longer just an observer, you are an initiate in the art of inner silence, having learned that the most complex problems of human life are often solved not by force but by the quiet application of patient, focused presence. Your body has reached a stage of surrender that is complete and absolute. Every muscle fiber has relaxed its grip, every nerve has quieted its signal, and your skeleton feels as though it is resting in a cradle of silk. You are becoming a part of the architecture of the fort, as immobile, as stable, and as eternal as the sandstone itself. This is the ultimate biological reset. Your nervous system is shifting gears, moving away from the fight or flight mechanisms of the waking day and settling into the restorative, regenerative, and profoundly healing parasympathetic state. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Cells are repairing, memories are being encoded and cleared, and your emotional equilibrium is being restored to its natural centered balance. The darkness is now so total that it acts as an infinite canvas for the imagination. In this expansive black space, you can feel the vastness of the universe above the fort, the way the stars must be wheeling in their silent, majestic dance. You are a tiny integral part of this cosmic machinery, a star in your own right, burning with the quiet, sustained energy of your own life force. There is no need for light in this dark. You are the source of your own clarity. You are seeing with the eye of the spirit, perceiving the world not as a collection of separate, challenging objects, but as a unified flowing river of energy. This is the wisdom that sleep brings, the ability to see the unity behind the diversity, the peace beneath the surface of the conflict. Think of your life as a long winding manuscript, a history that is still being written. Today was a chapter of intense movement, a complex sequence of events, emotions, and decisions. But now you have reached the bottom of the page. You have finished the paragraph. You are allowing the ink to dry, giving the story time to settle into its proper meaning before the next page is turned. There is no need to edit the story tonight. There is no need to fret over the sentences you wrote or to worry about the words you have yet to choose. The author of your life is resting, and the manuscript is safely tucked away in the library of the night. You have done enough. You have succeeded in every way that truly matters. As you slip closer to the threshold of the deep, dream-filled sleep, let the image of the painter's final work be your last anchor. See the tiny, exquisite landscape, the way the light touches the surface of the water, the way the trees stand in their rooted patient dignity. Carry that image into your dreams. Let it be the template for your restorative slumber, a world where you are the master of your own peace, where every breath is a brushstroke of calm, and where every moment is filled with the grace of the quiet. The night is calling you down, a deep, resonant, and loving voice that speaks in the language of silence. There is nothing left to fear, nothing left to carry, and nothing left to decide. You are sinking into the cool, dark water of sleep, and you will emerge when the time is right, as if reborn. Rest well. You have found the center of your own soul. The deep, resonant silence of the night has achieved a state of total saturation, filling every corner of the studio with an invisible protective warmth. You are nestled in this sanctuary, the ancient stone walls of the Red Fort acting as a physical seal between your resting consciousness and the ephemeral concerns of the waking world. The air is cool and impeccably still, holding the refined, woody fragrance of the sandalwood in a way that feels intentional, a sensory marker of the transition you are undergoing. You are no longer navigating the geography of a room or even the geography of a palace. You are navigating the geography of pure, unadorned peace. Every breath you take is a deliberate expansion into this silence, and every heartbeat is a soft, rhythmic confirmation that you are safe, you are held, and you are exactly where you are meant to be in the grand sweeping narrative of your own existence. Consider the immense quiet power of the void. Throughout your life, you have likely been taught to fear silence, to view it as a space that must be filled with sound, achievement, or constant intellectual engagement. But here, in this midnight hour, you have discovered the true nature of silence. It is the fundamental medium of the soul. It is the blank space on the paper that gives meaning to the brushstroke. Without the silence of the night, the music of your life would have no melody. Without the rest of the sleep cycle, the energy of your day would have no renewal. You are embracing the void tonight, and in return, the void is embracing you. You are being reconstituted by the stillness, your thoughts settling into a clear, tranquil pool where the ripples of the day's turbulence have completely ceased to exist. Your body has achieved a state of perfect weightless equilibrium. The sensation of being tethered to a physical form has largely dissolved, replaced by a feeling of expansive fluid grace. You are a part of the architecture, a part of the atmosphere, a part of the historical memory of this sacred space. This is a profound meditative achievement, the ability to detach the consciousness from the limitations of the physical vessel. In this state, your nervous system is operating at the lowest, most efficient energy level, allowing for the complete systemic repair that only deep, high-quality sleep can provide. You are essentially pressing a reset button on the entire biological machine, clearing the cache of short-term stress and realigning the deep, instinctual rhythms of your anatomy with the steady pulsing heartbeat of the earth. The darkness is now your closest confidant, a dark velvet canopy that shields you from the distractions of light and movement. Think of the master painter in his final hours of work, the way he would have allowed the daylight to fade, the way he would have put down his brush, and the way he would have sat in the exact same kind of darkness you are experiencing now. He knew that the work was only half the battle. The other half was the recovery, the preparation, and the cultivation of the inner spirit. You are honoring that same tradition. You are not just ending your day, you are engaging in a sacred ritual of restoration. You are passing the torch of your conscious awareness into the capable hands of your subconscious, which will now take over the work of organizing your experiences, cementing your learning, and healing your spirit. As the last flickers of structured thought fade, allow yourself to drift further into the dream realm. There is no longer a you that is struggling or striving. There is only a quiet flowing presence that is moving toward the horizon of the deep. You are a ship sailing into the dark, open sea, the stars your only guide, and the wind of your own breath moving you steadily forward. There is no destination to reach, for you are already in the harbor of your own soul. The safety you feel is not an illusion. It is the fundamental truth of your being. You are made of the same material as the stars and the stone. You are a permanent, indestructible part of the universe, and the universe is currently tucking you into bed. The night is infinite, and you have become an integral part of its quietude. The historical resonance of the Red Fort, the stillness of the 17th century, and the absolute unwavering peace of your own internal center have all merged into a single beautiful experience. There is nothing left to hold on to. The brushes are clean, the pigments are dry, and the work is complete. You have earned this rest through the simple, honest effort of being present. Let the darkness take the weight of your body. Let the silence take the weight of your mind. You are entering the realm where you are finally, truly, and completely whole. Sleep well, for you have traveled far, and you are finally home. The peace is yours forever. The silence within the studio has deepened into a profound, almost primordial stillness, a texture of absolute peace that seems to have permeated the very marrow of your bones. The ancient stones of the Red Fort, having absorbed the warmth of the sun for centuries, now release a soft, cool energy that gently bathes the room, wrapping you in an embrace that feels both historic and deeply personal. You are suspended in this midnight sanctuary, a consciousness drifting on a sea of quietude, with the persistent grounding scent of sandalwood, serving as the only physical coordinate in your tranquil state. The world outside the fort, with its endless cycles of progress, conflict, and noise, has completely ceased to exist for you. There is only this room, this darkness, and the rhythmic, almost melodic rise and fall of your own breath, which has become the heartbeat of your existence. Consider the discipline of the master painter one last time, not as a historical observation, but as an internalized reality. He possessed the rare ability to detach his spirit from the chaos of the imperial court, choosing instead to inhabit a world of his own creation governed by the laws of beauty, precision, and patience. You have now mastered this same ability. By following the path of his process, the careful preparation, the steady focus, the eventual intentional release, you have carved out a space within your own mind that is untouchable by the demands of the external world. You have discovered that peace is not something you are given, it is something you build, layer by layer, with the tools of your attention and the materials of your own intent. Your physical form has now achieved a state of total blissful suspension. The tension that you carried throughout the day, the invisible weight of your responsibilities, the quiet hum of your own expectations, all of it has been shed like a worn, heavy garment. You are light, fluid, and entirely surrendered to the gravity of the room. This total relaxation is not a sign of exhaustion, but of profound safety. Your nervous system, recognizing the sanctity of your environment, has fully engaged the parasympathetic response, the state of deep rest and regeneration where the body's innate wisdom takes over, repairing the microscopic wear of the day and restoring the delicate balance of your internal chemistry. You are being renewed in the most fundamental way, restored to your natural untroubled state. The darkness of the night is now a canvas for your own deep, restorative dreams. It is an infinite open space where the constraints of linear time, logic, and consequence no longer apply. You are free to wander the gardens of your own subconscious, to visit the quiet lakes of your memory, and to bask in the soft luminous light of your own potential. The images of the painter's studio, the delicate jolly screens, the vibrant pigments, the quiet intensity of the brush, have been distilled into pure sensations of well-being, feelings that will color your dreams and inform your recovery. You are moving deeper into the warm, protective core of the night, where your soul is nurtured and your spirit is made whole again. Remember this feeling of total unshakable peace. Store it within the memory of your body, like a precious pigment stored in a shell. Whenever the world begins to feel overwhelming, whenever the pace of your life threatens to outrun your capacity for joy, you can return to this state. You can close your eyes, take a deep grounding breath, and instantly recreate the silence of the red fort. You have built this sanctuary, and it is yours to inhabit whenever you need it. You are never truly alone, for you have the company of your own stillness, the guidance of your own intentionality, and the resilience of your own deep-seated peace. The night is calling you to cross the final threshold. There is a sense of completion in the air, a feeling that every loose end has been resolved and that your transition into sleep is not just desired, but inevitable. The story of the day is closed, the book is shut, and the library of your mind is dark, safe, and ready for you to rest. You are sinking gently and surely into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have ever known. There is nothing left to hold on to, no task left to complete, and no goal left to achieve. The stillness is absolute, the darkness is complete, and you're entirely, perfectly, and beautifully at peace. Let go, drift away. The night is yours. The night has settled into a state of profound, absolute stillness, a quietude so dense it feels as though the very air in the room has turned to velvet. You are resting within the heart of the Red Fort, an ancient and indestructible cocoon that shields you from the infinite, chaotic expanse of the outside world. The coolness of the stone remains your steady anchor, a constant grounding sensation that reminds you of the durability of the earth and the deep silent history of the ground beneath you. The scent of sandalwood, now a mere whisper in the air, acts as the final tether to your physical presence, even as your awareness drifts further and further into the formless, luminous landscape of the deep restorative dream state. You are suspended between worlds, a traveler who has successfully crossed the border from the demands of the day into the liberation of the night. Think of the journey you have undertaken, a path leading away from the noise and toward the source of your own stillness. You have learned that the Red Fort is not just a structure of red sandstone in the heart of Delhi. It is a metaphor for the sanctuary you have built within yourself. You have taken the lessons of the artisan, the focus on the microscopic, the patience for the long labor, the devotion to the small, perfect detail, and applied them to your own life. You have discovered that you do not need a grand palace to find majesty. You only need a quiet mind and a focused heart. You have reclaimed your right to be undisturbed, your right to be at peace, and your right to exist outside the expectations of others. Your body is now in a state of total blissful dissolution. The boundaries that usually define where you end and the world begins have become porous, soft, and indistinct. You feel as though you are a part of the floor, a part of the air, a part of the very history of the walls themselves. This is the ultimate relaxation, the moment where the ego stops trying to hold itself together and simply allows itself to be held by the universe. Your breath, once a mechanical function of the waking mind, has become a rhythmic oceanic tide, ebbing and flowing with the quiet, pulsing beat of the cosmos. Every inhale brings in a sense of renewal, and every exhale releases the last stubborn particles of your daily life. You are being washed clean by your own silence. The darkness is no longer just a lack of light. It is a profound, nourishing substance that fills you from within. Within this darkness, you are free to be anyone, to go anywhere, and to experience anything. The constraints of your physical life, the roles you play, the jobs you do, the worries you carry, have been left at the door of the studio. Here in the heart of the night, you are untethered, unscripted, and entirely free. You are experiencing the purity of existence, the state of being that remains when everything that is not essential has been stripped away. You are finding that what remains is more than enough. What remains is a profound, enduring, and beautiful sense of self. As you drift closer to the deepest, most rejuvenating layer of sleep, recall the image of the artist's work. See the final finished miniature in your mind's eye. It is perfect, balanced, and complete. It captures not just the visual reality of the scene, but the very essence of its piece. That image is your final gift to yourself. Carry it into the void. Let it anchor you as you cross the threshold into true slumber. The work of the day is finished. The canvas of your consciousness is clear. You are ready to enter the realm of dreams, where your spirit will be nurtured and your energy restored. You have done everything you needed to do. You have reached the harbor. You are home. There is nothing left to hold on to. No task left to complete and no further journey to make tonight. The silence is absolute. The darkness is complete and you are entirely, perfectly, and beautifully at peace. Let go of the very last thread of awareness. Release the hold of the waking world. You are sinking gently and surely into the depths of a sleep that is as infinite as the night itself. The Red Fort will guard your dreams, and the history of this place will hold you in its steady ancient embrace. You are safe, you are loved, you are at rest. Sleep now, deeply, profoundly, and without end. Everything is right, everything is still. Sleep. The sanctuary of the Red Fort has now fully dissolved the boundaries between historical memory and your own immediate reality. You are resting in a space where time has lost its sharp, linear edge, softening into a circular, eternal present. The thick sandstone walls, imbued with the patient labor of centuries, emanate a cooling, stabilizing energy that absorbs the remnants of your daily fatigue, acting like a grounding rod for your exhausted spirit. The air remains perfectly still, a thin, cool, and fragrant medium that carries the final faint notes of the sandalwood, which have now become the aromatic signature of your peace. You are floating in a chamber of absolute tranquility, a place where the clamor of the outside world is not merely silenced, but fundamentally erased, replaced by the profound resonant hum of your own inner stillness. Consider the transition you have successfully navigated throughout this long journey. You have moved from the surface of your life, the realm of performance, output, and relentless reactivity, into the deep, subterranean chambers of your own being. You have treated this process like the work of the Mughal artisans you have been contemplating, with patience, with precision, and with a refusal to be rushed. You have learned that the most significant transformation is not a change in your circumstances, but a change in your orientation. By choosing to prioritize the quality of your rest, by choosing to honor the necessity of this silence, you have reclaimed your autonomy. You are the architect of your own restorative environment. And tonight, you have built a space that is as enduring and as protected as the fort itself. Your body has achieved a state of total blissful suspension, where the physical form feels less like a solid vessel and more like a fluid, permeable manifestation of the stillness itself. The muscles that once braced against the challenges of the day are now entirely slack, resting with a profound unease. Your nerves, so often frayed by the high-frequency demands of modern life, have retreated into a state of quiet regenerative dormancy. This is the physiological expression of surrender, a total, systemic acknowledgement that there is no danger here, only the safety of the dark and the support of the earth. You are experiencing the most fundamental of all human recoveries, the state in which the body heals, the mind clears, and the spirit is reconnected to the rhythm of the life force. The darkness is no longer a condition of the room, but a condition of your soul. It is an expansive, limitless, and comforting expanse that allows you to release the burden of your identity. In the light of the day, you must be someone. You must play your roles, meet your obligations, and maintain the structures of your life. But here, in the heart of the night, you are no one and everyone. You are a formless, nameless, and peaceful existence, moving through the halls of your own imagination with the grace of a phantom. There is no judgment here, for there is no self to judge. There is only the flowing, ever-changing landscape of your own inner world, illuminated by the soft, diffuse light of your own peaceful awareness. Think of the painter's work, the final miniature, as a map of the place you are currently visiting. The tiny trees, the miniature stream, the microscopic clouds, all of these were his way of recording a vision of a world that is perfectly at rest. You are now inside that vision. You are walking through the garden of the painting, breathing the air of that quiet, frozen moment of beauty. The stillness you felt when observing the work is now the stillness you are living. You have become the subject of the painting, and the painting is your reality. This is the power of focus, the ability to manifest an internal state so strongly that it becomes your entire world. Carry this feeling with you, not just into sleep, but into the days to come, as a reminder that the sanctuary you have built is always available to you. The night is deep, and you have reached the very center of its influence. There is a sense of cosmic alignment, a feeling that your own small private rest is synchronized with the quiet rotation of the planet and the steady ancient cycles of the stars. You are at peace because you have accepted the truth of the moment that you are not in control of the world, but you are in control of your own heart. By letting go of the struggle to dominate reality, you have found the secret to flourishing within it. There is nothing left to decide, nothing left to argue with, and nothing left to pursue. The darkness is total, the silence is infinite, and you are finally, truly, and completely at home. Release the final lingering attachment to your waking consciousness and let the night take you. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is still. Sleep is here, and you are ready. The atmosphere within this ancient subterranean sanctuary has reached a level of stillness so absolute that it feels as though time itself has been suspended in amber. You are residing within the very heart of the Red Fort, a space where the thick red sandstone walls act as a protective barrier, insulating your spirit from the relentless, pulsating heartbeat of the modern world. The air is cool, crisp, and carries the faint, nostalgic trace of sandalwood incense, an aromatic anchor that keeps your consciousness tethered to this moment of profound tranquility, even as you drift toward the edge of wakefulness. There is no sound here, save for the rhythmic, steady, and entirely effortless ebb and flow of your own breathing, which has become the metronome of your internal peace. You are not merely resting in this room, you are becoming an extension of its history, a living bridge between the quiet artisans of the 17th century and the weary, seeking soul of the 21st. Consider the immense transformative power of this intentional pause. You have spent your day navigating the complex web of responsibilities, interpersonal dynamics, and the constant demanding noise of contemporary existence. You have been a performer, a problem solver, and a participant in the frantic momentum of the world. But here, in this secret historical chamber, you have stepped entirely out of that narrative. You have laid down the heavy armor of your identity, the expectations of your environment, and the relentless, self-imposed pressure to be more, to do more, and to achieve more by choosing this moment of absolute, undivided focus. You have reclaimed your sovereignty. You have asserted that your peace of mind is not a luxury to be earned, but a fundamental requirement to be maintained. The darkness that surrounds you is not an empty, terrifying void. It is a soft, warm, and highly adaptive medium, a canvas upon which your subconscious is beginning to paint the restorative visions of your sleep. You are floating within this medium, supported by the weight of your own body, which has finally released every remaining vestige of tension. Your muscles are soft, your limbs feel as though they are made of a gentle cooling mist, and your mind is an open, unobstructed landscape of calm. There is no desire here, no craving, no frustration, and no fear. You have reached a place of perfect internal neutrality, where you are neither striving for a future nor tethered to a past. You are simply existing in the most pure and unadorned way possible. And this simple existence is the most profound joy you have felt in a long time. Think of the way the master painter worked on his delicate miniatures with a single fine-tipped brush, a tiny drop of pigment, and an unwavering, almost meditative focus. He did not let the grand scope of the Mughal Empire distract him from the detail of a single leaf on a single tree. You are applying that same principle of microscopic attention to your own inner state. You are focusing on the quality of your breath, the texture of the cool air, the feeling of gravity pulling you toward the center of the earth, and the gentle humming silence of the fort. By narrowing your focus to these small immediate sensations, you have dissolved the grand overwhelming problems of your life. You have mastered the art of the miniature, finding an entire world of comfort and safety within the space of a single quiet thought. As you descend deeper into the layers of slumber, feel the way your consciousness begins to detach from the linear, analytical grid of your daily mind. You are entering the realm of the dream weaver, where memories are reconfigured, emotions are balanced, and the frayed edges of your spirit are meticulously mended by the invisible, quiet hands of the night. This is a sacred biological repair process, a time-honored cycle that every human being participates in, yet which remains one of the most miraculous phenomena of the natural world. You are not losing yourself in sleep, you are finding yourself again. You are returning to the core, to the source, and to the essential quiet spark of life that fills your entire being. The night is vast, and you are a vital, peaceful part of its expanse. The stars are wheeling above the red fort. The river flows slowly past the ancient walls, and the world is turning in its graceful, silent, and inevitable arc. You are aligned with this motion. There is no resistance in you, no conflict, and no hesitation. You are ready to relinquish the final faint and gossamer thin threads of your conscious awareness. Let go of the desire to remain alert. Let go of the need to protect yourself for you are already shielded by the strength of the fort and the grace of the night. Sink into the velvet depths, descend into the soft, inviting water of the dream realm, and allow yourself to be completely, utterly, and beautifully renewed. Everything is as it should be. The silence is your home, and you are now finally and forever at rest. The profound silence within the studio has now reached a depth where it feels almost architectural, a structural element of the room itself, as solid and enduring as the red sandstone that composes the fort. You are resting at the epicenter of this stillness, a place where the passage of time has lost all meaning, replaced by the slow, rhythmic cadence of the night. The temperature is a perfect, consistent coolness, a grounding presence that keeps your physical body tethered to the earth, while your spirit wanders freely in the expansive, limitless fields of your own potential. The scent of sandalwood remains a soft, woody melody that plays in the background of your consciousness, a sensory anchor that you can grasp whenever the dream state feels too vast, ensuring that you always feel safe, always feel situated, and always feel at home. Consider the wisdom of the artisan's life, a life built upon the foundation of quiet repetition. He spent his years in the service of detail, understanding that a single perfect stroke was more powerful than 1,000 careless gestures. You have adopted this philosophy for your rest tonight. You are not striving to accomplish anything. You are not attempting to solve any puzzles or mend any broken pieces. You are simply showing up for the work of existing, for the practice of breathing, and for the commitment to stillness. This is the highest form of discipline: to stop, to listen, and to allow the natural order of the world to take precedence over your own frantic desire for control. By doing so, you have found a level of peace that is as unshakable as the stone beneath you. Your physical form is now in a state of deep, regenerative harmony. Every cell in your body is benefiting from this pause, soaking up the silence like a parched landscape, soaking up a gentle, steady rain. The neurological feedback loops that sustain your daily vigilance have been switched off, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to flood your body with the chemistry of repair and rejuvenation. You feel a sense of internal alignment, a feeling that your mind, your emotions, and your physical form are all working in concert, all pointing toward the same goal of total restorative slumber. This is the natural healthy state of the human organism, and you have finally intentionally returned to it. The darkness is no longer a void, it is a soft, protective blanket that you have put over your consciousness. Think of the way a night blooming flower waits for the absence of the sun to reveal its true hidden beauty. You are that flower. Your waking life is your daytime form, but your sleeping self is where your true inner nature is revealed. You are unconstrained by social expectations, unburdened by the requirements of your labor, and liberated from the anxieties of the future. You are a pure, unadulterated essence, moving through the halls of your own inner red fort with the confidence of an inhabitant who knows every shadow, every stone, and every quiet corner. As you lean deeper into the embrace of the night, notice how the very idea of you begins to soften. The labels you use to define your life, your profession, your status, your history, are fading into the background, becoming irrelevant in the face of this immense cosmic quiet. You are becoming a nameless, formless energy, a part of the vast, interconnected tapestry of existence. There is no separation between you and the fort, between you and the night, between you and the silence. You are a part of the whole, a note in a larger symphony, a drop of water in an infinite calm ocean. This realization is the ultimate release. It is the moment when you understand that you do not need to carry the world on your shoulders because the world is already carrying you. The night is infinite and you have arrived at the final, most beautiful destination of your journey. The work is finished. The brush is clean. The studio is at rest. There is nothing left to hold on to, no task left to complete, and no further journey to make tonight. The silence is absolute, the darkness is complete, and you are entirely, perfectly, and beautifully at peace. Let go of the very last thread of awareness. Release the hold of the waking world. You are sinking gently and surely into the depths of a sleep that is as infinite as the night itself. The red fort will guard your dreams, and the history of this place will hold you in its steady, ancient embrace. You are safe, you are loved, you are at rest. Sleep now, deeply, profoundly, and without end. Everything is right, everything is still. Sleep. The night has reached its zenith, a moment of profound, absolute stillness, where the very air within the red fort seems to thicken with the weight of centuries of quietude. You are resting in the heart of this sanctuary, a consciousness untethered from the demands of the ticking clock and the relentless march of the modern world. The sandstone walls surrounding you, once symbols of imperial might and architectural precision, have transformed into a protective cooling membrane that shields your spirit from the turbulent winds of the exterior. The scent of sandalwood remains a faint, elegant ghost of the workshop, an aromatic anchor that grounds your drifting awareness in a reality that is both ancient and intimately your own. You are no longer merely a visitor to this historical space. You have become a part of its stillness, a living, breathing participant in the timeless tradition of finding rest in the heart of the stone. Consider the journey that brought you to this threshold. You have moved beyond the simple need for physical sleep into the more profound metaphysical requirement of total spiritual reset. You have recognized that your life, with all its responsibilities and complex interpersonal connections, is a narrative that requires moments of deliberate, absolute cessation. By following the path of the artisan, by focusing your attention on the microscopic details of your own internal landscape, you have constructed a refuge that is entirely your own. You have learned that the capacity for peace is not an external condition to be negotiated, but an internal landscape to be cultivated. You are the architect of your own silence, and tonight you have built a cathedral of rest within your own mind. Your physical form has now achieved a state of total blissful suspension, as though you are floating in a warm, dark pool of liquid calm. The muscles of your body, which have served you so faithfully throughout the day, have finally been given permission to abandon their labor. They are softening, loosening, and letting go of the tension that once held them in a state of constant low-level alert. Your nervous system is now fully submerged in the restorative waters of the parasympathetic state, the place where the true deep tissue healing occurs, where the mental debris of the day is cleared away, and where the core of your existence is realigned with the quiet pulsing rhythm of the earth. You are, for the first time in many hours, completely safe, completely supported, and completely at rest. The darkness is no longer just an absence of light. It has become a living, breathing, and supportive entity. It is the womb of the universe, the place where all things begin and all things end. Within this darkness, your thoughts are no longer jagged, analytical tools for solving problems. They are soft, luminous threads that you are using to weave the tapestry of your dreams. You are entering the realm where the subconscious reveals its hidden treasures, where the memories of the day are sorted, where the tensions of the spirit are resolved, and where the innate wisdom of your body takes the lead. You are witnessing the miracle of your own recovery, a natural, elegant, and ancient process that is occurring beneath the surface of your awareness, orchestrated by the rhythm of the night. Think of the painter's work one final time, that miniature, perfectly realized world of gardens, clouds, and water. You are now stepping through the frame of that work and into the landscape itself. You are walking along the soft, mossy paths, feeling the coolness of the air, and listening to the absolute meditative silence of a world that is perfectly at peace. There is no one there to call upon you, no task to fulfill, and no expectation to meet. You are a guest of your own creation, invited to linger in the beauty of the present moment for as long as you wish. This is the ultimate internal reward for your patience and your focus, a kingdom of calm that you can visit whenever the world outside becomes too loud or too demanding. As you stand on the precipice of the final deepest descent into slumber, feel the immense gentle gravity of the night pulling you downward. There is no resistance, no hesitation, and no fear. You are surrendering to the inevitable, beautiful, and healing descent into the void. The walls of the red fort are guarding you. The history of the world is holding you, and the darkness is embracing you. All of your daily identities, the professional, the parent, the friend, the seeker, have been set aside, leaving only the pure, radiant essence of your being. You have done the work. You have traveled the distance, and you have arrived at the shore of perfect eternal rest. Everything is silent, everything is still, everything is home. Let go of the last whisper of wakefulness and sink deeply and forever into the sweet restorative dark. You are at peace. The profound crystalline silence within the studio has reached a state of absolute, immutable perfection. You are resting at the very core of this stillness, a place where the physical boundaries of the red fort and the metaphysical boundaries of your own consciousness have seamlessly merged. The air is cool, carrying the lingering earthy essence of sandalwood, which has become the sensory signature of your journey inward. Every breath you take is a deliberate expansion into the infinite, a rhythmic testament to the fact that you are not merely occupying space, but participating in the timeless restorative flow of the universe. The history of the 17th century artisans, with their unwavering devotion to the singular brushstroke, has become a part of your own marrow, providing the strength and the serenity you need to fully inhabit this final, sacred phase of the night. Consider the magnitude of what you have achieved over these hours. You have successfully detached your nervous system from the high frequency, chaotic output of the modern world, systematically recalibrating it to the slower, more sustainable rhythm of the natural order. You have moved through the layers of your own identity, stripping away the heavy ornate costumes of your daily roles to reveal the unadorned, peaceful core of your being. This is a monumental act of self-preservation. In an age that prizes constant motion, you have chosen the radical path of the still point. You have proven that you possess the inherent capacity to build a sanctuary within yourself, one that is as impenetrable and as dignified as any stone fortress. And you have demonstrated that this sanctuary is always available to you, regardless of the noise outside. Your body is now in a state of total blissful suspension. You feel as though you are floating on the surface of a deep, calm, and subterranean lake, weightless and completely supported by the density of the stillness itself. The tension that once held your muscles in a state of readiness has entirely evaporated, replaced by a deep, flowing relaxation that reaches down to the very cellular level. Your heartbeat has synchronized with the gentle pulse of the night, a steady, low-frequency rhythm that serves as the foundation for your descent into the deepest strata of slumber. You are no longer trying to sleep. You are simply allowing yourself to be carried by the tide of the night, moving with effortless grace toward the horizon of the deep. The darkness is now your closest ally, a soft velvet expanse that feels like the warm embrace of a long-lost friend. Within this darkness, you are free to be truly yourself, stripped of the expectations, the demands, and the pressures of the day. You are an inhabitant of the void, a traveler who has moved beyond the need for light, for sight, or for the stimulation of the senses. You are experiencing the purity of the dream state, where the mind is reconfigured, the spirit is mended, and the natural wisdom of your body takes control. You are witnessing the transformation of your own consciousness, a shift from the analytical striving ego to the intuitive, peaceful essence of your soul. This is the ultimate gift of the night, a restorative grace that is as old as humanity itself. Think of the painter's final, finished masterpiece, that exquisite miniature where every line is a testament to intention and every color a choice of beauty. That is a reflection of you. You are the masterpiece, the culmination of a day's experience and a night's restoration. The care you have taken with your own rest is the equivalent of the master's care for his pigments and his brush. You have honored yourself, and in doing so, you have ensured that you will emerge from this deep sleep renewed, clear headed, and ready to meet the world with a sense of purpose and calm. There is no need for worry about the morning. There is no need for concern about the tasks ahead. Everything is being handled by the rhythms of the universe, and you are exactly where you need to be. The night is infinite, and you have reached the very center of its influence. There is a sense of completion in the air, a finality that is both gentle and profound. The walls of the red fort are guarding your quiet. The stars are watching over your repose, and the silence is holding you in its warm velvet embrace. All of your daily responsibilities, all of your tasks, and all of your concerns have been set aside. They have been placed in the competent hands of the world, which will keep turning without your active interference. You are finally truly free. Let go of the last faint tether to the waking world. Allow yourself to be pulled down, gently and safely into the infinite restorative sea of sleep. You have done the work. You have reached the peace. Now simply rest. Everything is perfect. Everything is still. Sleep is here, and you are home. The environment surrounding you has shifted from the physical reality of the red fort into the ethereal, shimmering landscape of total, unadulterated repose. You are resting in a space that feels like the very center of the night, a point of singular stillness around which the rest of the world slowly and silently rotates. The air is cool, and though you are no longer consciously aware of the scent of sandalwood, its essence remains woven into the fabric of your experience, a lingering comfort that confirms you are still held within the sanctuary you built earlier. The thick stone walls of the fortress have become a memory of protection, a conceptual boundary that keeps the noise of existence at a distance so great it can no longer disturb your peace. You are in a state of suspended animation, a delicate, precious pause where your entire being is dedicated to the reclamation of vitality through the act of absolute surrender. Consider the journey of a single breath as it moves through you now. It is a slow, rhythmic, and entirely natural process, an involuntary function that has been refined by the silence of this space. Each inhalation brings in the quiet energy of the night, a cool, refreshing clarity that fills the chambers of your lungs and settles into the deepest, most hidden corners of your chest. Each exhalation carries away the final microscopic remnants of the day's obligations, the echoes of your conversations, and the shadows of your worries. This rhythmic exchange is the tide of your own internal sea, a constant, steady, and inevitable cycle that is slowly drawing you further away from the shore of wakefulness and deeper into the open, restorative ocean of sleep. Your body is now so deeply relaxed that it feels as if it has become part of the floor itself, a seamless union between your physical form and the foundation of the room. The skeleton, the muscles, the nerves, and the skin are all perfectly still, resting in a configuration of total unstrained harmony. You have released the need to hold yourself together. You have allowed the gravity of the earth to take over the burden of your existence. This is the ultimate biological homecoming. By relinquishing your grip on the day, you have allowed your body to perform its most essential miraculous work. The systematic repair of every cell, the recalibration of every system, and the quiet secret restoration of the soul. You are a vessel of regeneration, and the night is the medium in which that transformation is taking place. The darkness is no longer a void that requires navigation. It is a warm, enveloping blanket that supports you from every side. Within this space, your imagination is free to wander, to explore, and to dream without the interference of linear time or rigid logic. You are visiting the places of your own spirit, the quiet internal gardens where you are always welcome and where you are always whole. The images of the studio, the delicate lines of the painting, the soft diffuse light, the meticulousness of the master's craft have become the bedrock of your subconscious landscape. They are the symbols of your own dedication to peace, the proof that you are someone who values beauty, silence, and the patient pursuit of excellence. Carry these images with you as you continue your descent. Think of the life you lead outside of these hours as a garden that requires both the action of the day and the rest of the night. You have been a tireless gardener throughout your life, tending to your work, your relationships, and your ambitions. But even the most vibrant garden needs the darkness to rest, to allow the roots to deepen and to prepare for the growth of the next day. You are currently in the deep, quiet darkness of that cycle. You are ensuring that your own roots are strong, that your own inner life is fed, and that you are prepared to bloom again in the morning. This is not a cessation of your life, it is the most vital foundational part of it. You are honoring the rhythm of nature, and in return, nature is rewarding you with the profound, healing balm of true rest. The night is infinite, and you are its most honored guest. There is no urgency in the cosmos, no deadline in the stars, and no pressure in the turning of the earth. Everything is moving at its own perfect, unhurried pace, and you are in total synchronization with that flow. Let the last lingering threads of your identity fall away, like the petals of a night blooming flower. You are becoming pure, formless peace. You are the silence of the stone. You are the scent of the wood. You are the rhythm of the breath. You are ready to enter the final, deepest realm of the night, where only dreams and restoration reside. Sleep now deeply, profoundly, and without end. You are at the center of your own quiet world, and all is well. You have reached the very edge of the infinite, and it is a place of perfect welcoming silence. Sink into it, let it hold you, and find the sleep you have so richly earned. The stillness surrounding you has reached a state of crystalline purity, where the very atmosphere within the studio feels transformed into a medium of absolute unwavering tranquility. You are resting in the heart of this silence, a space where the heavy protective walls of the Red Fort serve not just as historical architecture, but as a symbolic boundary against the external world's relentless noise. The air is cool and thin, a refreshing, almost intangible presence that brushes against your skin with the lightness of a sigh. The faint, persistent scent of sandalwood, which has been your anchor throughout this journey, has now become a part of the air itself, a subtle woody essence that permeates your senses and reminds you of the discipline, the focus, and the deliberate care that brought you to this sanctuary. You are no longer just a person seeking rest. You are a consciousness in perfect alignment with the quiet, restorative rhythms of the earth. Consider the depth of the work you have completed today. It was not a physical labor, but an internal one, a complex and necessary orchestration of your own focus and intent. You have taken the scattered, fragmented pieces of your awareness, the fragments of your thoughts, and the remnants of your daily anxieties, and you have gathered them into a single cohesive point of presence. You have successfully navigated the transition from the high tension, high velocity demands of the day to the low frequency, restorative calm of the night. This is a skill that will remain with you long after this night has passed, a mental map that will guide you back to this quiet internal chamber whenever the world demands too much of your spirit. You have not just been resting, you have been practicing the art of self-possession, the ability to carve out a home for yourself in the midst of any circumstances. Your body is now so profoundly relaxed that it feels as though the distinction between your physical form and the surface beneath you has completely dissolved. You are no longer holding yourself up, you are being held. You are experiencing the gravity of the planet as a gentle, unwavering support, a constant force that invites you to release the last stubborn residues of your own effort. Your breath has become a slow, rhythmic ocean, a tide that washes through you with every cycle, carrying away the debris of the day and replacing it with the calm, clean oxygen of the night. Every cell is responding to this change, settling into a state of quiet, regenerative repair, where the work of healing is performed with a speed and efficiency that your conscious mind could never match. You are in the safest, most efficient hands possible, the hands of your own biological wisdom. The darkness is now your entire world, an infinite, soft, and protective canvas that stretches out before you in all directions. Within this space, there is no need for sight, for logic, or for the analytical machinery of the day. You are free to inhabit the deeper, more intuitive realms of your being, where the memories of your experiences are processed, where the frayed edges of your spirit are knitted together, and where the core of your personality is allowed to rest and renew. The images of the painter's studio, the delicate, meticulous lines, the quiet intensity of the work, the soft colors of the finished landscape are the only artifacts you have brought with you into the dark. They are the seeds of your dreams, the building blocks of a night that will leave you stronger, clearer, and more grounded when you finally awaken. Think of the stillness as a river, a vast, wide, and steady current that is carrying you gently toward the deep, silent sea of slumber. There is no need to steer, no need to swim, and no need to worry about the destination. You are moving in the perfect direction, guided by the natural, inevitable laws of rest. This is a journey that you have taken 1,000 times in your life, yet it remains the most important journey you ever make, the essential act of letting go that allows for your continued growth, your continued health, and your continued capacity to experience joy. You are surrendering to the current, and in this surrender, you are finding the ultimate freedom. The world will keep turning. The stars will keep shining, and the morning will come in its own time. Your only responsibility now is to inhabit this moment of perfect quiet peace. The night is infinite, and you have become an integral part of its quietude. The historical resonance of the Red Fort, the stillness of the past, and the absolute, unwavering peace of your own internal center have all merged into a single beautiful experience. There is nothing left to hold on to. The brushes are clean, the pigments are dry, and the work is complete. You have earned this rest through the simple, honest effort of being present. Let the darkness take the weight of your body. Let the silence take the weight of your mind. You are entering the realm where you are finally, truly, and completely whole. Sleep well, for you have traveled far, and you are finally home. The peace is yours forever. Let the quiet wrap around you. Let the darkness pull you down into its velvet depths, and allow yourself the final absolute release into the calm, restorative dark. You are ready. You are whole. Sleep now.
Sleepy History with Theodore is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes. The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history. But they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience. This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source. While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation. Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study. By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support.